Hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever recorded session of Gloria.
Game theory.
God fucking damn it. We actually did two, so for everyone who doesn't know, this is a little thing that I'm doing. It's a sort of sandbox open world D&D game, which I'm running with a whole bunch of people at once. I'll be uploading every single session to YouTube. So every little, basically everyone just kind of starts out level 1, different parts of the world, and they do whatever they want. There's no set campaign. You make your own adventures. If you can find out at some world events and say, hey, I want to make that my quest, and then boom, it's your quest. But you can all just do whatever the hell you want. And we actually already did 2 sessions of this. However, one of them was a session 0, so I didn't record that one. The other one I simply forgot to record.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so technically this isn't the first session that's occurred in this series. However, this is the first recorded session, and it's with someone, a different character who is in a completely different part of the world. Please,
this fucker's up somewhere.
Please welcome Cyan playing. Who's your character?
Caeda Anewynn.
Splendid.
Yeah, the certified monster.
This thing is a monster. I'll put up a little picture on screen so you can see exactly who we're talking about.
You can see the monster, the pick crew of the monster.
Cyan and their horrible habit of making pick crews for all of their characters and having them all be gay.
Okay.
These things are
it's
such...
It's not my fault.
I mean, I guess it is a selection bias from using only pick crews.
It's also a selection bias of me.
I haven't exactly seen a straight pick crew of any time.
Have you ever seen me create a straight fucking character?
Fair enough.
Huh? Yeah, fuckhead.
Alright, so... Do you remember... Well, you just give us a little short rundown of your character.
Oh my god, this thing is a black-blooded solar oracle. Oracle is a class in Pathfinder which pretty much means selected as a cleric because fuck you.
Drafted.
Literally drafted into the clerical military. It says military. No. Apollo, the deity of the sun, says, ooh, woo, what's this? And then drafts you.
Yeah, basically.
He's also a half-elf that is 4'9" and weighs 15 apples or 5 pounds.
Canonical.
Yeah. His gender is listed as a certified he/they. And under senses, it is the prophecies. So.
And no memories.
He is an amnesiac. He has no fucking idea where he's waking up, and I don't. I know that it's a river, and that's about it.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, he also likes weed.
I don't even know if weed would exist on your continent.
You said it would, so I'm taking your word for it.
Oh, sure, yeah, then it does.
You allowed me to have blunts.
Fuck, you're right. They're probably soggy, though. Alright.
Sodden blunts!
Well.
Dude, what's up with these fucking things?
Alright, so. We'll begin. But also, just for anyone who's curious, since there was Apollo mentioned, Gloria is an incredibly homebrewed world.
It is fucking insane.
In
Sean
fact,
is fucking insane.
Yeah, a lot of this is like 4 times the size of Earth, and I've made a lot of it. So we're also going to be a lot of the mechanics are also homebrewed. So if there's any Pathfinder nerds in here who hear things that are slightly different than normal Pathfinder First Edition, that's why, because I got bored of certain mechanics and decided to improve them.
And I'll say like novice level of Pathfinder understanding. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd rank you about there.
Yeah.
All right, not
if we're going by the
not going to compare to me, who has several Pathfinder books memorized.
Yeah, no, you're insane.
All right.
I think you should be allowed.
You're just...
Okay.
you sort of just... You are starting to kind of come to your senses. Everything's just...
Oh my god, this is
completely...
flashbacks to 𝘍𝘪𝘏𝘵. Oh god.
completely black. You're sort of... You have this feeling of just... floating. Almost like you're not being dragged somewhere, but it's sort of slowly, calmly. You can't quite remember much else. You can very numbly, very faintly feel every now and again a little bump on one of your body parts, or as part of your body kind of like jerk a little bit as if they hit something. You can just barely hear some sounds, almost as if they're muffled.
Hey, you're finally awake.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
And roll a fortitude save.
What is my fortitude? -1, that's good. That's a 6 or 7. It's 7.
Okay. Kind of... I'd also, actually, for a roll like this, I'd probably also let you roll a will save if you want.
I would rather do that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can roll a will save too.
Because that is something I do have some stuff. Oh, that's an unnat 20.
Unnatural 20. Alright. Gonna feel, as you're just kind of starting to wake up, you can kind of feel just this faint aching pain throughout your whole body. You can't... Your muscles and bodies seem still partially asleep, but gradually you're able to muster enough energy to sort of wake yourself up and kind of start to flutter your eyes open. Just in time to see a piece of wood flying directly towards your face. Make a swim check.
Assault! 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 That is a unnat 20 once again. What the
Wow, okay. Alright. You can, like, rapidly just, like, panicking underwater. You let an underwater scream as you twist your body around, dodging the big stick that was headed right towards your eyes as your back slams into some wooden barrier. It kind of heaves and almost kind of gives way a little bit behind you before it kind of supports you a bit, and now that you're face against the water, you can feel just a bunch of water just kind of battering your face as it kind of like goes through with some kind of wooden barrier / net or something. You can kind of flooding your eyes open. It's very kind of like not like super brackish. It's definitely still like fresh water, but it's a bit more clouded than normal around here, and you can see just you're kind of slowly coming to your senses, kind of like panicking and realizing that you're upside down. And you can see just... it seems like you're kind of like looking around as your hair kind of like floats around you, and the water kind of presses around on all your body. You can see through the kind of like twinkling light of the day, kind of just barely kind of getting through a couple of, various like kind of like little ocean like algae or river algae and such. You can kind of see, it looks like you kind of collided with some wooden dam or something. Probably not made by any like people. It seems reasonably well worked, but not exactly, not exactly industrially crafted. Kind of still pretty cobbled together. But there is one thing you can see, not as well as the dam, but you can still certainly make it out. Something very rapidly moving towards you. Down from the current of which you had just been traveling down, there's a dark shape. A shape rapidly swimming towards you.
Does it look like this?
Look like what?
An alligator.
It's too dark to make out.
Fuck. Invisible alligator.
What's your plan of action?
So fucked up. So it's just fucking coming at me, yeah?
It is rapidly
alive,
swimming out to me, or it is rapidly swimming out to you. You are upside down underwater at some wooden dam.
I'm stuck on the dam, right?
Yeah, you're a little snagged, but you could probably kind of pull your way out. You're not trapped.
Climb the dam.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Probably a climb check instead of a swim check.
Yeah. That's 7. That's not too good.
You try to climb before you realize that you're still upside down, and you bonk your head on the ground a little bit. You can hear some more kind of muffled bubbling noises coming from just around you somewhere in the water. Everything's, because of the rushing water, it's all too murky to make out entirely where it's coming from.
Actually, can I roll a perception check?
Yes.
Yippee.
Is there anything specific you'd like to roll it on, or just in general?
What the fuck is that thing?
The thing coming towards you? Alright, sure.
Yeah. That is a 9. And that is a 27.
Holy shit, okay, wow. Good rolls.
I am a professional at min-maxing perception and nothing else.
Yeah, definitely. This is level 1, by the way.
Yeah. This is a level 1 character with a +9 in perception.
My god. Alright. Well, you're spinning yourself around, kind of propping yourself upright. As this thing is swimming directly at you, kind of see behind it this kind of sort of almost like a thin robe behind it. You realize it's some almost tropical fin. Its entire body seems dark. It's not just black from shadows. It seems completely like a very deep dark purple skin. Kind of scales every now and again shimmer in the water as this thing sort of two large, bulky, kind of almost armored, powerful arms kind of swim through the water beside it. And you can see, glinting in the water, a wide mouth of razor-sharp teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And the glint
Is it a boy
of
mouth?
2 large eyes.
Is it a boy mouth? The mouth.
No, it's not a fucking lamprey mouth! Rapidly swimming, it seems like it's actually holding something behind it, some kind of bag or something. It looks kind of familiar, what it's carrying at least.
Is this a friendly crocodile?
Well, you're not quite sure. It looks
Seem friendly?
hard to make out, but it does look like some form of merfolk, or some kind of monster that looks like a merfolk.
Roll a handle animal to head pat it.
It's still a good 40 feet away and rapidly approaching.
Gotcha. I'm going to upside down myself and try to climb again.
All right. You spend some time orienting yourself as it only gets closer, and give us a climb.
All right, that's a
lot better.
What the fuck?
A non-natural
That's the
20.
fourth unnat 20.
Well, with that,
Thank you, Avray.
you kind of grab a hold of the various bits and bobs of the dam. You're kind of pulling yourself up. A couple sticks kind of crack off and kind of break, and the structure of the dam is kind of getting a bit unstable. You can see some water kind of rushing into the gaps you make, but you kind of just pull yourself up, and you just gasp for air at the top, and only now do you realize that you are able to breathe water this whole time. You kind of cough out the water that you were breathing and get some air in your lungs, kind of stretching them as you kind of put all your legs and everything back on the top of the dam, just in time to see this dark shadow just swimming rapidly up to the dam to where you just were. In fact, up close, it seems a lot smaller. Can't be more than 4 feet long. It kind of slows and kind of...
That's not small!
Okay, compared to you...
Catfish!
It's smaller than you. It's...
By 9 inches.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, normal people are much larger. In fact, alligators are certainly larger.
Yeah. That's just... yeah, okay.
It kind of swims up this kind of just dark shadow. A little face kind of like surfaces from the kind of gently flowing water. Purple skin with, little slightly lighter purple scales kind of on the cheeks and around. And it's this waving dark purple hair. Excuse me, I think you dropped this. She kind of holds up a very soggy looking kind of gray bag.
Cat. Oh. Did
I think so. It was floating around with you. Are you okay?
I don't know.
You should probably get off that dam, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off that, not jump off the dam, but like release myself back into the water.
You kind of you do a little of a, you just kind of do a dive.
Can I like sidle over to the land, or is it like?
Yeah, sure. You can just like scuffle over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna scumbly over there.
I'll scumble over and you kind of move over and you can kind of almost hear movement inside the dam as you kind of scuffle over. Seems that from the top, the dam is a lot more well built. The stuff outside of the water, at least.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get over to the land. This kind of grassy shore area. A bit of kind of gravel and rocks on the side of it. You can see a few like kind of stumps where a couple sparse trees used to be around here.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like they were gnawed through, as a matter of fact. But you kind of get to the side, and she kind of swims over a little bit. So, what's your name?
Should I roll something for that, or do I remember my name?
Roll? Hold on. I need to check what,
knowledge, like, self?
Oh, check...
that'd be auto-hypnosis.
Yeah, it's named auto-hypnosis in the... Actually, no, roll insight. Insight
okay.
or auto-hypnosis. Up to you.
Well, one of them I have a +6 in, and the other I don't. That's a 9 for an insight check.
You can't quite remember, but you know for certain that your name starts with a C.
I think my name starts with a C?
Oh. You don't remember, do you?
No. Where am I? Who are you? What is this?
You hit your head pretty hard.
Yeah, that has to be pretty fucking hard.
I wasn't around to see it, but I just kind of saw you floating through the river. You're on some driftwood. A lot of your stuff was floating with you. I tried to grab as much of it as I could.
Oh, thank you. What do I have?
Well, it's all in that bag. My name also starts with a C. I'm clear, by the way.
Oh, hi, Clear. How'd you find me?
Well, I live in the rivers. You basically came into my house.
Thank you, Clear. Thank you.
Yeah, and then you came into the 𝘍𝘪𝘭 family's house.
The what?
She kind of points to the dam.
Oh, okay,
You can kind of hear some faint grumbling coming from inside.
It's okay. Can I have my bag?
Yeah, here you go. She kind of tosses it up. I kind of lands with a bit of a kind of jumble on the shore.
Thank you.
So, do you remember what you were doing in my river?
I don't remember my name.
I guess not.
I think I've asked where I am like twice.
Oh, well, you're generally around here. It's the Dindy Hills.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I will accept that. Do you mind if I go through my bag real quick?
Sure. Maybe you can take some time trying to remember your name.
That would be
Or
pretty cool.
who you even are.
Yeah. Okay, so after like probably pretty like what's the word? Frantically like taking everything out and setting it on the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Like just emptying the bag, making sure it's empty.
Strangely, it seems everything in the bag is completely dry. It's only the outside of the bag that's soggy.
So I am going to see a note.
Yep.
This note says, in elegant handwriting, Lay, avoid mages, keep out of moonlight, don't forget. And if you see there, at least one of these things has already been fucked up. Along with an unknown map, which shows a region that I assume has the words Dindy Hills, right?
Yeah, it's just...
Her location? Yeah. Circle around that rough area with a strange sort of ruin upstream and a path marked out to a town to the west.
Yep. By the looks of it, the town actually has a name too.
What is its name?
The town is the humble little town of 𝘍𝘪𝘭𝘵 Rest.
How do you spell Onir?
ONNIR.
Alright. Onir's Rest. Alright.
Well, you've got some stuff kind of dripping out of your head. You kind of feel a liquid kind of almost kind of like leaking out of the top of your head.
Yeah, I go to like rub it away or like see what it is.
You kind of rub and
fingies.
You pull your hand back and it stings a little bit with touching you. It's definitely a wound. That's definitely blood. But you pull your hand back and it's black.
Hey, Clear. Am I alive?
Well, you're talking. I guess you could be undead. Hey, you're not a zombie or anything, are you?
I don't think so.
You'd tell me if you were a zombie, right?
That'd be something I'd know, right?
She kind of slowly kind of swims behind her a little bit. Well, I heard somewhere that I think zombies might burn in the sun or something, so maybe in the sun, since you're in the sun, you're not a zombie. She doesn't sound confident in that knowledge.
I am going to agree with you on that. I don't think I'm a zombie.
I guess you're just really weird.
Maybe?
Maybe your blood forgot to be red.
Maybe I didn't eat enough red as a child.
Oh, I know where you can find some red.
Oh, where?
There's salmon and other fishies. Their meat's very red. I sell them a lot to the little town nearby. I think they also have, apples. That's what they're called. Sometimes they trade for some apples. They're really tasty. They don't grow under the sea or in the rivers.
Okay, yeah, I should maybe try to find some of that. And is that town by any chance named Onir?
Oh, yeah, Onir's Rest. I trade with the people there a little bit.
I have a note here. Or a map note? Map note? Map.
Yeah, that must be where you're from.
Maybe.
Yeah, they...
But
I sometimes help them catch fish. I help them trap fish. I help repair their boats. I help teach them how to fish.
Oh, could you maybe like show me the way there in a couple minutes? I need to take a minute here.
Oh, sure. Just maybe let's move a little upriver. I think I can hear the old man and the dam grumbling a little bit.
Okay.
I just hear a shout. Just, clear! If you are trying to use my dam to make another fishing rod, I will not be merciful this time.
Okay, you said it clear in like the voice that the Overwatch sounds in fucking Half-Life 2. I'm entirely expecting a Half-Life 2 explosion sound effect.
Oh my fucking god.
But yeah, so Caeda is going to, I guess CA for right now, is going to get up kind of weakly and like put all the stuff back in the bag, put the bag over her shoulder, and then start walking upstream in a very fashion.
Careful, don't fall in again. I don't want to have to fish you out again.
I can breathe fine.
Okay. Just kind of looks over. Oh, here, let's stop here. That wood over there, that's what you were holding on to.
Oh,
Kind of points over,
where?
and there's a bit of a kind of not like a tree trunk, but like a large piece of just kind of unworked driftwood that seems to have been floating down the river. It's gotten like wedged on kind of like a bend of the river. It looks like it'd make a decent bench.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a little seat there.
You can see a decent bit of just these black stains on it.
Oh. Is this more blood? Is there blood? Question mark? What is this?
Oh, here, give me some. She kind of holds out a hand.
Yeah, sure. Wait, blood? Hold on. Wait. He's gonna just put his forehead on her hands.
She kind of pats it around, just gives it a big lick. Ah!
Wait, hold on.
Ah. She kind of dumps her face underwater and like shakes it around to like firmly wash it off before she kind of goes up to the log a bit, kind of runs her finger across the black stains and. Bah! It tastes really bad. Yeah, that's yours.
Okay, so Sean, really important, but you know what happens when a character ingests black blood, right?
I do. However, there's other lore about the black blood.
Okay. So she doesn't even take the con damage?
No.
Okay. This fish is scary. That's how does it taste?
She kind of like looks up to you, just like kind of cringing a little bit. Very good. Very nice.
That's good. I'm glad.
One of the best humans I've tasted.
Am I human?
I think so.
Can I roll another little insight?
Go ahead.
Yippee. Boop. That's an 8.
8 total. Well, yeah, you're a bit kind of floaty about it, but you're tentatively, you think, yeah, you're probably a human. I mean, you've got human hands, you don't exactly have human blood, but I mean, you look decently human.
I'm probably. He was, in fact, not human. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the other humans will know what's wrong with you.
I hope so. Hope so.
Mm-hmm.
So. Off that way I go.
Well, good luck.
Thank you, Claire.
And if you ever remember anything important, come back and tell me.
Of course. Thank you for saving me. Yeah.
She kind of like dives back in, and you can see her just darting after a fish.
This thing has so much ADHD.
Alright, well, you can't, it's still, it's a little difficult to figure out exactly where you are, so using the map, see if you can give us like a knowledge geography check to look around your surroundings and try and figure out where on the map you are.
Boop. That would be a 22.
Alright. Well, you're kind of like pacing around, and you look a bit into, you kind of like look around a bit. And
Definitely
you're pretty sure that this kind of big curve you're on is probably right there on the maps, and that would mean that probably just downstream, probably a little further past the big dam, would be a bridge across the water, which would take you on a little not super commonly used road, but a little traveler's road, which, if you follow that kind of a bit to the side, it'd take you to a crossroads, which leads directly up to Onir's Rest.
Yippee!
You're kind of by this big curve. There's a bunch of just like rocks and pebbles by the stream, kind of as the sort of beach. There's a large, it's kind of like large cliff where the one of the larger hills has been kind of like eaten and eroded away, with plenty of like dirt and kind of like roots sticking out of it. And it even looks like there's a few small little caves, actually. As you're kind of walking past, you're walking back downstream, you can hear a faint little kind of clicking coming from the caves.
I am going to do this funny little thing called rolling perception at them.
All right.
That is an unnatural. Do we need a fucking 20 counter? 5 so far.
Alrighty.
And we're like 40 not even 40 minutes in, I don't think.
Let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5.
All right. Well, you're sort of looking over, and it seems that, well, I mean, the clicking's definitely coming from these caves. It's definitely something animalistic in nature.
Low light vision, :3.
Oh no, it's the. Do you mean you have dark vision?
No, low light vision.
Oh, low light vision, right?
Yeah, of dim light.
Well, you can't quite see, like, it does kind of like just become really dark very fast. However, even then, you're pretty sure that the clicking's coming from kind of like around a couple bends in the caves.
Okay.
It's not like human-sized caves, like sort of like smaller, like sort of like too big to be gopher holes, but like the kind of things where it's like
worms.
There was probably like roots there, and then the roots eroded away.
That's where the snakes are stored.
Sure.
That's the snake hole.
Definitely some kind of animal.
Definitely something I don't want to
something
be
like snapping its jaw or something.
What I'm going to do is get the fuck away from there.
All right. Well, just go around the bend and keep going down, I presume?
Yeah.
All right.
Head off to the widow village. Ooh.
On your way down, you kind of occasionally see these little sparkly bits kind of in the river and in the stones around the river. Looks like, almost like, you kind of like bend down and collect one. It seems like this sort of like really smoothed down, but still, a couple of them are still vaguely sharp. Little bits of almost glass? Multicolored glass?
And I would have noticed in my backpack that I have glass similar to that, right?
Indeed, although yours is certainly not at all weathered down. It's still freshly sharp.
So I'm just gonna look at it really hard.
Alright.
And like roll not investigation, that's the wrong game. A knowledge something, maybe?
Which knowledge would you like to roll?
Nature?
Alright.
I don't think geography would give me what I want. Or religion. So.
Well, you never know.
Should I roll a geography, Sean?
Up to you.
Whore.
Different knowledges will give you different informations.
I'm gonna roll a nature. That's an 11.
Well, whatever this is, you're pretty sure it's not natural. I mean, there are some times when glass can appear naturally in nature, but this, I mean, with this, it's like firmly dyed. It's certainly possible that it could be some magical reaction that just created this glass in nature, but it looks a bit too like it's something about it. You're pretty sure it's probably man-made.
Alright, cool. That's enough for that, I guess. I'm gonna go continue again.
Alright.
Oh wait, no, I'm gonna like chop a piece off.
Of the glass?
Yeah.
You're gonna like try and, do you mean like try and break one in half?
Like try to like dislodge one, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, they're just like
Covers the piece.
kind of like floating there and just kind of like just scattered among the stones. Yeah, you can just like pick one up.
Alright, hell yeah.
Yeah, so you got a decent bit of this weird glass.
Fucked up
One bit of the
glass.
glass, and it's just kind of like just smoothed down. Got some ocean glass.
Hell yeah!
I guess in this case, river glass.
Yeah, fucked up river glass. How much? Unknown.
Several pieces. All right. Well, headed down to the kind of headed down further. You walk past the little dam. You can see kind of as you get to the other side when the water level's lower. You can see it seems actually kind of a quaint and homely place. That kind of like that part of the dam has been very thoroughly kind of modified and kind of built up to have a nice kind of pleasant looking little homely feel, and you kind of see some little windows on it, and where you can see a little bit of some candlelight and bits of furniture and whatnot as a kind of below it just a little bit less of the river kind of like calmly kind of just bubbles through.
The bubble.
Kind of pass through just this area with this like these larger kind of cliffs around where the river used to run, and eventually get down to kind of in the distance a bit downhill. You can see it, a little like sort of very worn, almost like carved from this light colored stone, not quite marble but lighter than normal stone.
Like limestone? What?
Yeah, probably pretty limestoney. A bit more like white than limestone is green, but yeah, around that general vibe.
The fuck kind of green limestone?
I've been to fucking California beaches where limestone was invented. That shit is decently white, but it's also decently green. Yeah, that's kind of green.
I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah, that's kind of green. Yeah, it's just slightly whiter and less saturated color-wise. But yeah.
Okay. So it's a very light stone.
Yeah. Just in the distance, you see like a kind of wide bridge like that, just kind of crossing the little river. And on either side, you can see through the grass, just kind of some, not paved, but sort of like dirt roads just on either side. Bits of these little flowers kind of like blooming on each way, and kind of up to the distance to just sort of to your right, a bit further uphill, you can see some sort of these ruined arches, which, if you had to guess, that's probably the crossroad.
Sorry, give me a quick reminder on the map.
Sure, yeah, you got this river which kind of goes downstream. A lot further upstream, there's these sort of ruins that look like they're next to it. Then kind of, downstream you've got the bridge that goes over, which sort of to the west, that leads... So you're facing south right now. So to the west, that'd lead to, a little bit of a crossroads. And if you go to the crossroads and then go sort of northwest, that will shortly lead you to the town of 𝘍𝘪𝘭𝘵𝘩𝘺 Rest, and there's that sort of like little dotted line which kind of like winds around a bit to lead you up to the ruins from there.
Okay. So I first am going to go to the little town.
All right, the
location.
You gonna like go through the wilderness or skip the crossroads or whatnot?
I'm gonna go through the crossroads.
Yeah, probably a good idea so don't like step on any like snakes in the in the tall grass.
Oh my god, I'm gonna step on Sorrel. Oh shit! Fuck.
Well, it's not necessarily tall grass. It's just sort of like like unmowed grass.
Bit of unkempt land.
Yeah. Well, you kind of start walking towards this little kind of ruined arches, and kind of see it every now and again. There's a couple of these just old bricks, just kind of of the same style as the bridge and the archways, and just kind of like laying about in the ground, kind of like half buried.
Hmm.
But
woo.
You can also feel a presence. Something sort of... I guess influential would be the best word.
Is this a perception roll?
Yeah. That'll do.
Yippee. I just mute deafened myself by accident. 1d20 plus 9. It's a 14.
Alright.
Not too good.
Well, you're definitely not imagining things. That is, you're sort of feeling this powerful,
Like my other
strong
characters.
presence just somewhere up ahead. You can't quite pinpoint where, but somewhere on the road up ahead. There's something there. You are definitely on the right path, though. You can kind of see, behind a few hills, there's a few little bits of smoke that, not like enough to be like something's burning, but just enough where it's probably like a couple chimneys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you continue?
I think yes, but I'm going to be a little bit, like, slower and more methodical.
Alright.
Like a bit more of like almost like a stealth roll.
Would you like to roll stealth?
I would. Which is just a flat 1d20. That's a 7.
7?
So, fun fact about the Black Blood. It gives all of my dex skills a -4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, but I have a +3 in a couple things there, so I'll accept it.
Hell yeah. Welp, you're just sort of... There isn't exactly many places to hide in, like, the prairie anyway.
I mean, he's not even, like, trying to hide. He's just, like, going slow enough to hopefully spot something before it spots him, theoretically.
Alright. Well, you don't quite see anything. At least, not until you get to the top of the crossroads. Sort of just, like, area in between a bunch of these arches. It was probably used to be, like, a tower or something, but now only a few walls of the base are left. There's a couple of bits where people have kind of, like, etched little, like, so-and-so was here and into it in, like, various languages.
Holy shit. Is there a 𝘍𝘪𝘭𝘵 was here? Holy
Yes,
shit.
there is a 𝘍𝘪𝘭𝘵 was here.
Oh no!
You kind of look a bit down and kind of to the south. You're able to pinpoint the source of that sort of pressure feeling. Kind of up north, you can kind of, you've started to, you're on the top of a hill now, so you can kind of see a few of the, like, little kind of, like, houses all over in what looks to be Oakier's Rest, or Onier's Rest, sorry. But farther down south, almost walking up, there's this figure clad in these sort of dark and light robes. Just kind of, sort of like, very, almost like eccentrically power walking with a large cane, just kind of walking about. Just kind of, you kind of see them rise up above a hill and kind of descend below another one. Rise up
You
a
see
hill.
power walking with a cane.
Yep.
Is he doing the Gangster's Paradise Plague Doctor walk?
not that swagalicious, but walking very determinedly. Very determinedly. Up a hill and then down, and up another hill and down, and you almost swear as though every now and again he's sort of skipping hills.
Uh-oh.
And then he doesn't rise another hill. He just kind of vanishes. You can still feel the pressure, though.
What would I roll to see if there is, like, the evil feel, TM?
Probably insight. Like detecting
Alrighty.
malice.
Yeah, like detecting unkindness.
Alright.
Insight. Boop.
Ooh, okay.
Shit.
25. Strangely, you do not detect any malice whatsoever.
Okay.
It just seems perfectly, I guess, neutral. Kind of, you know, just like in sort of like if it were focusing on you, it wouldn't be like hostile or benevolent. It would just be like, oh, that's interesting.
Just a polite nod.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's not really gonna. He's probably just gonna like keep walking at his normal pace. Though a bit worried that there's a teleporting robed man.
Well, you spin around to go to Onir's Rest to come face to face with a mask, half black, half white, just kind of politely smiling. Why, hello there. It seems like I've given you quite the fright. They kind of like stop crouching down and stand up to a very towering above you height.
To be fair, that's anyone.
This person is exceptionally long and thin, though. Slightly goofy proportions, as a matter of fact.
He's a bit silly.
You can't quite see. The only parts of their skin you can see are you can see like a bit of their kind of ears, and you can't see like they've got gloves and fancy boots and everything on. You can just barely make out kind of a sort of slightly tan
for the waists.
Definitely, yeah. He's got some slightly tan skin on his ears, and you can make out a bit of his kind of like neck area.
What kind of ears does he have?
Vaguely pointy, but not as pointy as yours.
Okay. How have I seen my ears?
I mean, you've probably like rubbed them.
That's a fair point.
See, it just kind of has this like dark black hair or dark brown hair with kind of lighter brown streaks through it. His suit is just like black with these like white stripes, and it kind of like has like sort of like half and half on each side, where it's like one half of the suit is kind of black with white stripes, the other is kind of like white with black stripes, and it kind of like swaps on the pants.
Yeah, okay. Motherfucker's a checkerboard.
Yeah.
So, this fucker says, where did you come from?
Well, I'm certain that you've seen me walking. I came from south. He kind of twists around and kind of sends his cane up into the air and just kind of like points down to the roads which you saw him on. The more important question is, where have you come from?
I don't fucking know.
As a matter of fact, we are going to switch musics. It seems as though you have forgotten your memories.
I am inclined to agree, yes.
How novel. I haven't encountered many amnesiacs in my travels. Not lately.
Yeah?
May I? And he kind of quickly sticks his cane into the ground so it stands up on his own, and he kind of quickly moves forward to you and just kind of grabs you by the face and just starts like stretching your skin around, almost like examining your face.
May you what?
Just a quick little examination. He kind of puts his face kind of close, and you can see just black void behind the eyes as he kind of like stretches your eye open, just kind of looks into your retinas. Interesting. No, you're not a holdover from back then.
What?
Let's see now. No, your amnesia is quite natural, I'm afraid. Although, No. No, maybe... Well, I mustn't say it out loud.
Yes, you should, please.
Ah, you've got a rather nasty head wound. I'm sure that's what you've
Yeah.
assumed is the cause.
I'm not...
Hmm.
I don't think so. I don't
Interesting.
know. It's.
Kind
I
of-
don't think it's that bad to, like, bruise my face, head. What's that thing? Brain. That's it.
Your blood. Black blood.
Yeah.
How intriguing. What
I
are
don't
you
think
doing
I
on
did
the
enough
surface, little
apples.
one?
You just told me I'm an amnesiac. You think I know what I'm up here for?
I suppose that's true. It seems you've lost more than your memories. Kind of grabs you by the shoulders with their long arms and just picks you up with minimal effort. Accounting for all of your equipment, I'd say 10, no, less than 10 pounds.
What?
Just kind of lets go and you just kind of drop to the ground.
Is that normal?
Most certainly not. But who am I to say what's normal?
Cool. What are you?
Oh yes, well, I am... Oh, good heavens, one moment. Kind of walks over to one of the little parts of the ruins where there's a bunch of, like, various little bits of graffiti. Nasty children, marking up what isn't theirs. He kind of passes a hand over it, and immediately the graffiti's gone. There. Much better.
That's a cool trick.
A trick? Oh, most certainly. For I am the magician.
Are there not more magicians than you?
Oh, there are many who claim the title of magician, but the title was mine to start with.
How old are you?
I am quite old, quite older than you, and quite older than many you will meet. Now then, now that I've had the fortune of meeting someone like you, he kind of sits down on a loose brick and just, his body's just like sort of, just, with his proportions he's sort of like just very lanky. I must ask, do you have a desire?
That's a bit of an open-ended question, huh?
I suppose so.
I
Perhaps I should narrow it down.
that'd be nice.
Do you have a wish?
Those are synonyms.
To a mage, not quite.
I'm...
Tell me, child, and he kind of stands up. If there were one thing that you could make real in this world, imagining you had the power to do so, with a wave of your hand, what might you change? What might you create? What
I
might
don't
you
know this
destroy?
fucking world.
Indeed,
I...
you know nothing of this world, or at least very
Yeah.
little. It seems you've retained your ability to speak, so you do know language at least. Surely you know other things.
Yes?
And it is precisely why you know nothing which I'm so interested. What would someone who knows nothing wish for?
I mean... I want to know what happened. Like, why am I like... What took my fucking memory?
What took your memory?
Also, why can't I breathe water?
Interesting questions. So you're saying you would like to know your past?
Yes, I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid that knowing your past and knowing exactly what took your memories are far different questions. And you can only wish for one, after all. And he kind of almost like pulls something out of his sleeve. He kind of holds in one of his hands this box that is far too large to fit in either of his sleeves. I only have one wish on me.
I think my past would help me determine everything else, so... Like... Yeah, I think past.
So be it. He kind of flicks his hand around and the box disappears. He kind of looks out to the sky and kind of almost looks around, kind of examining the clouds, and eventually he looks back south. Southwards. That's where it is. If you go far, far south, you will encounter an environment far different from this one. Down the paths and down the rivers, there is a city. A great city of Dish, in the desert, among the sea of dunes. Deeper still into the desert, farther down, there is a ruin. A place with a legendary looking glass. The locals will know of it well. You need only ask one of them. Legend has it that this looking glass can be used to see anything that you so desire, but only once. I'm certain if you were to find it, this lost artifact, it would have no trouble in showing you your past. Find this item, and you and the wish will be yours.
That does sound pretty nice.
Well,
Thank you.
I suppose I've said enough for now.
Magician man.
I must be going. Kind of picks up his
Yeah, thank
his
you.
kind of staff,
Thank
sort of cane from the ground. And he just kind of walks over, kind of just walking behind one of the arches. So long now. May your adventures be safe and swift. He just kind of walks behind one of the arches and vanishes.
I don't trust that.
And the presence fades away.
I don't like teleporting. It'll scare me. Okay. Very cool. Ninja like just rubs his eyes and generally like just his whole self. That's a start, I guess. All right. Cool. And then he starts heading back towards the city he's heading to.
Alright. Little town. Well,
Yeah.
you make your way there and, bits of ruins, but by the looks of it, these ruins are of a different type, sort of a bit more recent. A couple of old, fence posts and looks like old, kind of, worn down, kind of cobbled together stone walls. Not really to defend from anything, more so just to designate, what area is the town limits. But they've long since kind of worn away. But, sure enough, going in closer, you can see this sort of large kind of wooden and brick sign. So it looks like it has, several bits of writings in local languages, and one of the languages you can recall is 𝘍𝘪rr's Rest. Sure enough, you're in the right place. And as you approach, we get new music. Well,
But yippee!
it's still around the morning, probably around 11 if you had a sundial.
If only I had a sundial right now.
Further in, you can see some villagers just couple of, there's a couple of like shepherds out kind of on the edges, just kind of tending to various flocks of just animals. There's a couple of sheep. Looks like there's a crowd of horses in one of them. Just a couple of animals out grazing. Some of them kind of like look over and they see you, and one of them kind of like the shepherd with the sheep just kind of gives you a bit of a wave before going back to it.
I give a little wave back, but like a wave that is very much like, sure.
All right. Well, eventually you kind of make your way up to the town, the kind of first few bits of buildings and such, and there's a couple of just guards at little small kind of ramshackle stations. Looks like they used to be just kind of caravans with wheels and stuff, but they just kind of wheeled them in there and took the wheels off.
Took my fucking wheels!
The guard kind of just like very much not exactly like high quality, armor or anything, just sort of like passed down a good bit, dented in a few areas, but old but still working. They kind of like they're just kind of looking over the ground with all the animals and stuff, and their eyes kind of wander over to you. He kind of pets his mustache a bit. Caeda, was it?
Was it?
Well, I'd assume you'd know.
Caeda?
He's kind of chewing on a little bit of a piece of like kind of wheat.
Thank you.
No offense, but what for?
Sorry?
I mean, I'm not one to shy away from thanks, but I'd like to know what I'm being thanked for.
My name. It's fucking... Who should I contact in this village? Do you know about, like, who do I know? Is there anyone I know here?
Kind of giving you a bit of a weird look. You okay there?
They took my fucking memories. I don't know who they is. I don't know if it was a they.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's rotten. Well, you made a bit of an impression in the town. So,
How?
a couple folks will know you. Well, you wandered in a couple days back. Started doing what you could to heal folks. Had a bit of knowledge of medicine.
What?
I think you were
Okay.
working with who's that family again? There was one family you were working with. But well, I suppose you should probably go see the apothecary.
Yeah. I will do. Where would they be?
Well, they got the big shack with the glass building on it. They grow plants in there.
Okay. Thank you. And if I see that building, I'm going to walk a bit faster than I've walked so far to it.
All right. Well, you kind of head in, and you still just walking faster. Occasionally, just like little people will kind of like give you a bit of a wave and just kind of say like just give their hellos. And there's a couple of people who seem to be in kind of like ramshackle wheelchairs or sleds who kind of they got like bandages, and they kind of give you like, they're like, hey, thanks again. Seems like you did a decent bit of good here.
My a healer? Okay.
Sure enough, you pass a good few buildings, and right there, kind of up in near the town center, not quite like town center, but there's a bit of a just sort of bit higher quality looking building. Got solid kind of brick foundation and walls and bits of wood, supporting this big roof with a large kind of cobbled together with various kind of glass panes building kind of jutting off the side of it with plenty of these little like various exotic plants and multicolored flowers all growing throughout it. There's a big garden next to it too with even more plants.
Very pretty.
Yeah.
Yippee.
As you're kind of walking in, you kind of you hear a voice kind of call out behind you. Oh, good heavens! Is that you, Caeda? You
Hi.
kind of
Hi.
you kind of look back and you see this kind of old lady. Well, I guess not like elder, but like kind of like an older woman, still with like a cane and kind of a bit of a hunched back, but not quite like elderly. She's kind of like walking over. You're back. Have you found him?
Well,
Yeah.
Who?
Me, my grandkids. We sent you out to find my grandkids. Please tell me you brought them back.
I lost my memory. I don't know.
No. Yeah.
No.
She kind of
As I...
just it seems like a bit of a crowd's gathered, but I was also kind of curious, and this kind of hits the crowd rather hard. Another one person kind of pipes up. So, you didn't bring anyone back?
I woke up in a river. I don't know.
I kind of just like a lot of them kind of like just kind of go quiet and look to the rest of each other, kind of them sitting down and withdrawing when you kind of hear another voice. Move, out of my, move, coming through. And another person kind of busts through the crowd, kind of pointy ears like you, sort of in a decently kind of well-dressed, almost kind of like lower noble-like suit, slightly the wrong size for him. Hey, Caeda! That's who I love to see. Hey, come on. Listen,
Hi?
I got a very, listen, I know you're not going to disappoint me here, right? He kind of walks up to you. Alright, buddy. He kind of hands on both shoulders. Tell me, lay it on me. How much of the glass did you get?
I do have some, like the shiny thing, right? Like the glowy?
Yeah, that,
I
gave you a pretty thorough description of him when you were back at my place.
I do have some of that. I'm gonna take like a couple pieces.
Show me the goods. He kind of taps his fingers together, eyes going wide.
I take out like 2 pieces and like these.
That's the one. Now show me the rest. Come on, I want to be showered in that stuff. They'll make him for a really fine pre-shower before I get showered in gold. We get showered in gold.
This is what I have on me, and I like plop them. I take a couple of them out. Take the most of them out.
He looks at him. Well, that's nice. And getting me a sample before the main course. Really, you can show me the rest of them. Don't worry, I'm not going to take them all off your hands. No need to be greedy now.
Who are you?
He kind of stares at you blankly. Huh?
How many people do I have to tell I lost my fucking memory?
He kind of... His eyes kind of go a bit wide. He puts his hands on your shoulders again. You what? You mean you don't remember anything?
No.
Not me, not the tea we had, not the meticulously laid out plan that we both built together in order to get rich quick?
I don't.
The
What's your name?
the plan which I sold all of my savings in order to buy a caravan for us to use to deliver barrels and barrels worth of valuable glass, which I also brought the barrels for. The plan that you don't have any glass for?
I don't know you.
You can see just something inside him breaks. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. You know, we didn't exactly meet on the best of terms anyway, so second chances. How about that, right? My name is Gillian. Don't got a last name. Parents didn't give me one, and parents didn't want me. Kind of holds out a hand for you to shake.
I reluctantly shake it.
Kind of grabs Holy and eagerly shakes it. That's the spirit. I am the local busybody, local merchant. You got a question, you ask me. I know everything about this town, everything about many other towns. So, listen, I'll just jump right into it, right? I'll just tell you exactly what the plan was, all right? Just kind of looks around and kind of crashes over. Although, maybe we should go to somewhere a bit more out of the public eye, you know, or out of the public ear, more like.
Could you give me a minute? I was informed. Mr. Gateguard said that I should go to the apothecary to talk about memories.
Oh, well, you're in the right place. They're right here. Tell you what. Listen, now, if I wasn't so, handsome and clever, I'd think that you might be, trying to get away from me. Understandable. I completely get it. Guy walks up to you, is spitting all these, memories out. You have no idea what he's even talking about. You know, I'd be a bit reluctant, too. But, you know, as I've said, I've got a little bit of a lot of money relying on our little partnership right now. So, tell you what. How about you go in, I follow afterwards. You have any questions, you can ask moi right here. Otherwise, unless I have something else really important to share, I'll be completely silent. You won't even know I'm there. How's that sound? You little informant. Okay, good. Let's get to work. You think this apothecary fellow can fix your brain, fix your noggin?
I have no idea.
Well, here's hoping. It'd save me the time of describing the plan twice.
Yeah?
Alright, in we go. So, he kind of leads you in. Oh, sorry, here. Why don't you open the door yourself?
Yes. Then I do that.
Kind of open the door, and it's kind of door isn't quite locked. It isn't locked at all, so you can just kind of walk your way in, and immediately you're just assaulted by this damp and pungent aroma of like hundreds of different plants and various types of pollen and poison. And just like you nearly like fall backwards. Do a fortitude check.
Rolling. I love my good old -1. Oh, and that one. Or not on that one. Just an unnatural one, technically. That's good.
Oof. You kind of walk in. The two of you just kind of like walk in, just like ready to take on the world, get your memories back, and then immediately
Straight
both
on
of
the
you
floor.
collapse. You just slam down just on the ground. Boom.
Yeah.
You hear a bunch of jingling of various just kind of like trinkets and glasses coming from kind of upstairs. Oh, is there someone down there? One moment, I'll be down in a minute. You can see Gillian, like, right beside you, just, like, holding onto his mouth, trying not to throw up. He kind of looks at you, gives you a bit of a thumbs up. He's just kind of trying to put himself up. Roll another fortitude save in order to try and lift yourself up.
That's just a bloop. An 11 this time.
Okay.
Like, that's 2 of the ones.
Well, it's still horrible, but you're able to kind of pick yourself up and kind of... You're still, like, kind of cringing from the smell, and Gillian kind of does the same, kind of, like, dusting himself off and kind of coughing a little bit before he just kind of, like, slaps his face a little bit. And he just fights through it looking just perfectly normal, as if he isn't smelling the worst thing in his entire life. And looks over to you and kind of really quickly just, like, dusts a whole bunch of, like, dust and grime off of your coat and off your little outfit, and you're kind of, like, squeezing a bunch of water out and everything. And he seems to actually clean you up surprisingly fast.
Thank you?
I know a few tricks. You hear a bit of a jingle kind of coming from upstairs. And soon enough, just the person in this kind of big, kind of like bulky mask just kind of steps down the spiral staircase. A big staff with a bunch of like various little vials and kind of jugs and potions and plants and herbs and whatnot, just all kind of like taped to it.
So many little things.
So got goggles and everything too, although they're kind of cracked in one glass.
Hell yeah.
You're the outsider, aren't you? I don't think we had the chance to speak. And, oh. Hello, Gillian.
Hey!
It's Cesot.
Cesot, that's who. I love what you've done with the place. It was me who cleaned this place out for you a couple years back, wasn't it?
You certainly did.
I will be over. He kind of looks around and just finds a chair here. And if you need me, call me. You know my name. Kind of just awkwardly sits down and just watches.
You're the apothecary, right?
I sure am, and oh, good heavens, the smell of this place must be terrible for you. Let me find a mask for you.
And she kind of like lumbers over to this large kind of just this cabinet. She kind of opens things up and just
No, illness, Black Death, and yes, here's one that'll work.
She kind of pulls out a big mask for you. It has like a bunch of just dried up kind of like leaves and everything inside, kind of a little kind of cage inside it, and hands it over to you.
I'm going to like put it on.
Kind of inhale and you kind of cough a little bit from a bit of like spices from the leaves, but sure enough, it doesn't really smell like anything. It kind of blocks a lot of the other scents and aromas, and you can breathe a lot better.
Woo! +1 to breathing.
There we are. Now then, here, I suppose you should pull up a chair if you intend to make this a longer discussion.
Yeah, probably. So I have lost, like, my memories, and...
Oh, good heavens. You mean...
Mr. Guard at the gate said maybe you could help.
I suppose they would. I help with most people around town, but... the last few days you've been taking my job. I suppose it's the the least I could do is try and figure out if I can fix you up for all the work that you've done for me.
What have I done here?
Well, I've been so occupied with trying to find a way to cure the Brights that I haven't been able to treat any of the normal sick ones. You were really a blessing when you came in.
The what?
Oh, good heavens, you don't even remember the Brights, do you? You surely remember very little.
Yeah.
So, amnesia, you
I
say?
remember my name.
Even your name!
Yeah, no,
Come, sit down.
Told it to me. Yes, okay, thank you.
She kind of pulls up a chair, and she's in this sort of, like, kind of lower kind of section. Kind of walk down some stairs to get there, and there's still a bunch of, like, plants and dried out stuff just, like, hanging from the ceiling. You, like, kind of dodge around. She keeps the table reasonably clean, though. She kind of has a little teapot.
Would you like some of my tea? I'm afraid that it's, rather cold. But it could still, sharpen your nerves, so to speak.
Yes, please.
Very well.
Kind of takes a couple of these clay cups and pours a couple of glasses. Kind of slides one over to you.
Be sure to pinch your nose when you take off your mask to drink it.
She kind of does the same, and you can see a bit of these kind of like large, kind of like almost like underbite teeth, kind of as she kind of like takes her mask off and drinks some of it herself. It is incredibly bitter and sweet at the same time, and also vaguely sour with an aftertaste and spicy.
My favorite tea. Everything tea.
Yeah, it seems like just the aromas. It's been sitting there long enough that the aromas from all the various plants have infused with it.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Really hits the right spot, don't you think? I suppose I should get you a fresh one next time.
So, where do we start?
Well, I'd like to know exactly what I'm dealing with. What do you remember? Tell me everything that you remember.
I woke up in a river that way. I point the direction.
Mm-hmm.
There was a fish person that helped me get my backpack.
Oh. I don't suppose you're speaking about Clear?
Yes, that was her name.
Oh, yes. She is quite helpful. Go on.
Yes. I remembered my name started with the C. I had a note in my backpack and a map in my backpack pointing to here. The note said, lay low, avoid mages, keep out of moonlight, don't forget. And you'll see I have messed up the fourth step pretty heavily.
So you mean to say you remember absolutely nothing of your past?
Yes.
In fact, you even struggled to remember your name.
Yeah, I think I can make an assumption by this harp that my last name starts with an A.
Alright. Yes, I suppose that is the initials. What do you remember geographically? Do you know what region you're in?
This is the, Clear told me this is the hills.
But I suppose you learned that after you lost your memories.
Yes.
Hmm.
Or should I roll a geographic check?
Actually, yeah, go ahead and roll knowledge geography.
Dude. That's a 21.
Well, you know, I get the idea that, you know, you didn't remember it off the top of your head, but it might have been the kind of thing that eventually would have come back, but you certainly didn't remember it, you know, getting up. You broadly remember that, you know, this isn't a place that's, you know, very important. There's a couple of, you know, smaller towns kind of dotted around the kind of, you know, that a sort of major route goes through here, major path. You can't remember why that path is important. And you know that there are around a couple important cities, like larger areas nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Although you don't...
Well, I tell her that.
It seems that you know some loose geographic knowledge, at least, which means that your factual knowledge is at least slightly intact. Which I suppose that is apparent from the fact that you can still speak South Evermill.
Oh, yeah, I can. That's fucking weird.
Now, thankfully linguistics wasn't touched. Are there any other languages that you know? Just start speaking and think of speaking differently.
Yes. I am going to... I'm just gonna say, like... Let me open a random word generator real quick. I'm going to say in Sanadoran, outfit, initiative, and greeting.
Hold on, say that again? Let me think. That
I
sounds
repeat it.
like... Yes, the accent of the O's, that must be Sanadorian. Ah, perhaps you're from Sanador.
That sounds...
I know that they have a moderately larger Elvish population over there.
Is that an elven language?
Oh, not quite. It's a regional dialect. A dialect spoken by the people of the city of Sanador and her vassals.
Okay. I'm going to, like, go through a couple of other words, this time in the Low Mountain, which I'm going to say doll, formal, worry,
God,
and scratch.
D&D stops for no one, even if I haven't seen you in 2 years, Dad. Hello, welcome back. Sorry for the interruption. My dad came home with the milk.
Oh! Now I want milk.
Ratio.
Fuck you!
Alright, where were we? Oh yeah. So you were
The
repeating
Low Mountain.
So you were repeating the various words, right?
Yes, which were scratch, body, worry, insight, and object.
Alright. She will roll linguistics. Those words, blunt and harsh, it has characteristics of some dwarven languages I've heard. I certainly don't recognize it, or certainly can't understand it.
Diggy hole. Diggy
It
hole.
seems vaguely elven in nature as well. How curious.
Are there dwelves?
Well, I've never seen one, but I would suppose there could be.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that language. It's certainly more dwarvish in nature than I know.
Okay.
Alright. Do you have any pain in your head?
I mean, I got hit on the head when I was waking up. I like part my hair to reveal the the like scritch.
Good heavens, black blood?
I think so.
She kind of
Is that like
tenses up and...
normal or?
Give me a moment. She kind of steps up. Stay right there. Don't touch anything.
Okay.
And she kind of moves over and kind of, she's like rummaging through various drawers and everything before she finally finds a little bit of a kind of, sort of a magnifying kind of spyglass thing. She kind of, puts that in, kind of puts that in her pocket and kind of takes a couple various herbs and some like dusts and whatnot. All right, now. Kind of, she walks over to you, kind of grabbing some like rolled up bandages from the shelf next to you, and kind of slots everything down on the table. Now just stay right there. And she kind of magnifying glass kind of looks through you and kind of just looking into your eye a bit, kind of examining a bit. Open your mouth for me.
I do have eyes. Okay.
Dark in here too. Oh. Your tongue.
Yeah?
Yes, it seems that all your blood is certainly dark. Yeah, she kind of picks up the, like, kind of your arm and kind of, like, looks at your skin. Ah! Cold!
I mean, you're warm.
She kind of puts down the magnifying glass, takes a little vial, and kind of takes a few drops of your blood. Before she kind of moves over to a little kind of candle in the corner and kind of she kind of uncorks the bottle, kind of finds a few spices in this kind of like dark, kind of like really dark wood drawer with a lock on it. Kind of dashes a few in with it, and she kind of with these little kind of metal holder things, she kind of holds it out over kind of just over the fire, and you watch as the blood kind of begins to churn and move on its own as if it's alive.
No doubt about it.
What's up?
This isn't just any normal black blood. This is the black blood. You have been infected.
What does this mean?
It's spread too far already. I can't do anything about it. I doubt you have any normal blood left by now. And yet, you still have all the appearances of life.
I think I'm alive.
Well, yes, you're certainly not rotting like a lich.
Yeah?
How could this
I
be?
like rub my eye. Ugh.
The blood is toxic to any. Well, I would advise you to not show that to any others knowledgeable in the medical sciences. Here.
What's wrong with it?
And she kind of mops up a little bit of the blood that's kind of been oozing down your face and kind of puts some herbs up against the wound, kind of ties some bandages around it.
Thank you.
I think it's time that you leave, both of you.
Okay?
For your memories, I... wander around a bit, experience new sensations. I'm typically with amnesiac patients experiencing things which the memories are still there, they're just inaccessible. Experiencing sensations which are similar to them will sometimes allow you to remember.
Thank you.
Right.
Well, she kind of ushers the two of you out the door and she kind of reaches back and kind of pulls the masks off from you and just closes the door behind you. You say something rude or something?
I don't think so.
Must be having a bad day then. Alright, so,
I
tell you what,
guess.
let's find a quieter location and let's discuss money. In fact, I got just the place. I bought it just this morning.
Sure. Okay.
Come here. He kind of ushers you over and you kind of follow him over to sort of like a barn at the edge of town. Looks like it used to be a place where a bunch of animals live, but it's all the grass is overgrown and the barn's kind of falling apart. Sort of like not used in a good while. Welcome to my place. Kind of pulls open the big doors. And in here, check it out. Kind of pulls them open and you can see this large kind of wagon. But it's got, like, on the wheels, it's got this, like, these metal attachments and this large kind of metal compartment that looks like a furnace.
Car.
Some wandering craftsmen were through here. Some dwarves, I think they were. Dwarves and gnomes. Tinkers and the like of them.
Little people.
Yeah, fixed up the bridges, and now I saw them, and I saw opportunity, right? You kind of, here, come on, I furnished it perfectly for a travel.
Okay.
Kind of closes the big barn doors behind, and it kind of gets a lot darker, only with a decent bit of sunlight kind of shining in through the holes in the walls. Kind of swings open the curtains, and inside you can see just a bunch of cushions that have been kind of sort of built into the walls, some nice little like beds and blankets and everything. Comfort is key. That's what you told me. Not those exact words, but that's the gist I got from talking to you. And I couldn't agree more. Right? This bring anything back for you? He kind of gestures at the, like, big blankets. You were the one who even picked out this blanket here. And he kind of holds up a little, kind of like, sort of like hand-quilted blanket, which on what looks to be your side of the little caravan.
Oh, that does look comfy.
Go ahead, come on. He kind of sits on his side. Looks like he's already furnished his with his most prized possessions. Your side has like some shelves built in the walls, but it's completely empty. Spent the whole last few hours completely refurbishing it. Luckily, I caught you when I went into town. I was just going to town to try and find a few more nails, but sure, it'll be fine.
Yes. What's this thing?
This is our ticket to living the good life, my friend. That is the whole goal here, right? You think this bed, these pillows, this finely fluffy quilt, jeez, what is this? Rock feathers? Oh my god, that's soft. You think this is good? Now imagine this, but 10 times better, at least 10 times better, and 100 times larger. A whole house like this. And a beautiful view.
That sounds
And then
very,
just
very good.
imagine a nice little pool next to us, a pool filled with both a decent bit of water, but mostly gold coins, a bunch of gold coins that we all got legitimately.
That
Isn't that nice?
does sound nice.
Now, now what if I told you that wasn't just a picture, right? There is a whole city of people who live just like that. And we can join them.
What?
All we need is this bad boy, and he kind of slaps the wagon, and a whole bunch of your glass. This stuff, and he kind of holds up the one of the little pieces that you gave him. See, and he kind of pulls back some curtains, and there's a bunch of this big empty space. Got a bunch of empty space for all the barrels right here.
Okay. Where was this stuff found?
Oh, well, I drew you a map of it. Yeah, it's right on those little ruins, right? The old church.
Oh. Oh, okay. Where did it come from?
Ah, who can say? Been there long as anyone can remember. Like most of the ruins around here. Weird thing about the church, though, is that the glass doesn't seem to really wear down.
Okay.
But that is exactly why it's so valuable, my friend. This glass, you hit it with a hammer, you ride over it with a wagon, you throw somebody through it, it will not shatter. Only the ravages of time will occasionally break little teeny tiny pieces off. And that is where we swoop in. Well, more so you. I don't really do the fighting part. But you swoop in, you grab up in bags and barrels full of the stuff, and you roll them right out, and I'm right there waiting. We load them in together. We ride down the trade route, hopefully not encountering too many bandits, and if we do, just gonna say, I'm pretty good at sweet-talking them. We ride through, we get to that fabled city of luxury where they love this stuff. Can't get enough of it. They practically build houses out of glass down in Dish. And we find the richest looking guy and we sell it all to him. Because trust me, they will buy this stuff. Glass like this, they go bonkers over normal glass. What are they going to do about magically enchanted unbreakable stuff? We'll be the talk of the town.
Hell yeah.
And for the rest of our lives, we can live comfortably. And just imagine a palace. Hell, we could probably buy the whole damn city.
That sounds insane.
Right? And it's all just waiting for us to reach out and get it. You see why we're up to the task before? Just imagine that blanket you're sitting in. And imagine if you could feel that good for the rest of your life. Up until your ripe old age of 150.
That's a lot of ages.
Ah, well. Who can say how old we'll grow? I got the ears from my dad. Maybe I got the age, too. Maybe you did.
Wait, what?
Yeah, elvish, right?
What?
Half, at least.
What?
We don't really have the height. Not as tall or thin. We've also got the human charm.
I don't think Clear knows what humans are then.
Wait, sorry, you meant clear?
Yeah,
You meant clear.
Yes?
Kind of like stays there for a moment, kind of stands up and he's kind of like starts kind of pacing around, and before he kind of backwards jumps back onto his bed. He's kind of thinking. Kind of looks over. Say, think you could introduce me?
I mean, I have learned some things, I think.
Let me tell you, she has been completely gobbling up the market for passerby traders, right? She lives in the rivers, so she gets first pickings of whatever they have to sell, right? And she has a lot of fish, right? So all the traders who get through here, they don't have any of the good stuff, you know? What's there left for me to acquire?
Do you think every single trader is going to trade their stuff for fish?
Well, by the time they get here, they're hungry, you know, their horses certainly need it. Food is the most valuable commodity. Can't eat glass.
Eat fish?
Especially not this glass.
Can horses eat fish?
Well, I don't know. I'm not an expert at horses. Never really liked them. Face is way too
Not a
long.
horsologist.
Why, I got this thing right here. This handy-dandy machine. Not one of those, freaky things. I mean, Christ. Can you imagine having to clean up after that? I mean, maybe sheep are worth it with the fluffy wool, but...
He fucking hates horses. There is fury. There is so much spite here.
So, what'll it be? Still you and me against the world? And maybe clear if we can make a deal?
I mean, I don't really have anything else to go off of. Sure, yes. Yes.
Alright. Sounds perfect. Well, you always had some weird thing about not staying up when the sun's down. I mean, I guess that makes sense, you know, on account of being an oracle of Apollo and such, but I mean, for you, it's kind of like really weird, like weirdly, you'd think that you'd like were a plant, like you'd die without the sun or something. But I guess let's just rest in these blankets for a little while longer, and then why don't you go out and try and get more of that glass?
I would like to roll knowledge religion to see if I know who Apollo is.
Go ahead.
It's a +5. That's an unnat 20. Are you
Again!
6. That's 6.
Well, you know, you're decently familiar with Apollo. It's, you know, god of the sun, music, healing, mercy, all sorts of things. Golden,
that good shit.
The non-binary golden bard who flies across the sky in their glowing chariot.
Hell yeah, I love
Commonly mistaken for the sun, but the sun's something else. You've checked. Even if Apollo is the sun god.
Maybe the god, who knows?
You do remember, you do seem quite a lot more familiar with Apollo than any other deities or gods, so I suppose that being an oracle of him would certainly explain why you know a lot more about him.
Yeah. Gillian, right?
That's me.
I woke up with this weird little note saying, lay low, avoid mages, keep out of moonlight, don't forget.
Mind if I see it?
Do you recognize, like, this handwriting? And yeah, sure.
Yeah, just he kind of snugs back in the bed. Just hold it over my face. Just okay. Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, high quality parchment. I mean, no, seriously, look at that. That's like... That isn't river reeds. That is high-grade stuff. Is that... no, it's too weaved to be skin. That is... I don't even know what that is. That is... And I'm good at appraising stuff, but that is... You have to be really rich to know what this is.
Do you know anyone who, like, would have given this to me?
No. It looks too worn. You definitely didn't get it here. You didn't show me this before either, so I guess you were keeping it secret for some reason. I mean, hey, no judgments here. We all got secrets. That handwriting, though, definitely pretty prissy.
Okay. Oh, also, on my way here.
Yeah.
There was someone on the road who called himself the Magician.
The Magician, huh?
Yeah.
Ah, shit. One of those mages, I suppose?
I have no fucking clue.
Well, let me be the first to tell you. Mages, wizards, sorcerers, whatever you... Well, I guess not sorcerers. I had a friend who was a sorcerer. I shouldn't really lump that under them. Wizards, witches, warlocks? Never met a warlock. They might be okay. Actually, no. Listen, I'll say it. Listen, if your mental state is in a fucked up enough place to make a pact with something with an odd number of limbs, I don't trust you. I don't know. Listen, spellcasters like that, they are nothing but trouble. Okay? Even some clerics and more divine folks are a bit... I mean, no offense, of course. But
I am massively and irreparably offended.
Oh no, it's you're fine. You if you were untrustworthy, you've probably forgot every little last ounce of it. But let me tell you, oh my god, wizards, they just think everyone in the whole damn world is just one of their scrolls or something. Can't even deal with them.
Okay.
And say if you happen to have some, you've been working up a sweat, you got some sticky fingers, you happen to leave one of their scrolls in your pockets without even knowing. Not that I would have done such an unsavory thing. Speaking purely as I know friends who have done this. Or, well, in their case, knew on account of how much assholes the wizards are. They think that it's just up in the air if it's feeding frenzy for them. Oh, you stole a rock from my front yard, so I've got free reign to test my fireballs on you. Or worse. Don't give a damn what happens to anyone else. In fact, the wizard families even hate each other. And they don't even hate each other to buy weapons from any of us. And if they are in the mood where they'll buy something instead of taking it, they'll lowball you to hell and back. Have you ever been lowballed to another plane of existence? Right? That's what it feels like dealing with a wizard. And no sense of privacy either, right? They'll go right into your house when you're on the toilet, right? Hell, they're probably listening right now. With their fancy magic balls.
And one more thing. Do you recognize this, like, little pendant, beetle pendant thingy?
Let me check that out. Here, yep. Hold that in front of my face. Let me check that out. He kind of examines it. Actually, hold on. He kind of gets out of the covers and kind of like just tinkers with it. Let's see here. Ah. Do you... Hold on. Which item are you giving him?
The rough clay beetle pendant.
Rough clay beetle pendant. Huh.
Under the armor shields of apparel. A small and worn pendant on a beetle made of fired clay. It seems both old and very crudely made.
Huh. Okay. Kind of looks at it. Well, tell you what. I'll tell you this much. It certainly wasn't made by the same person who wrote those. Wrote that note for you. This thing is. It's like a kid made this. I mean, no offense. You know, in case you made this. I mean, I guess you wouldn't remember. So.
I don't think so. I have no fucking idea.
You know, hold on. Seems familiar somehow. Tell you what, when we're on the road, I'll take a couple more ganders at it, see if I can really dig up anything in my old noggin, since yours seems to be out to brunch, so to speak.
They took it. They took my fucking brain.
Alright. Kind of tosses it back to you.
Alright, cool. And he slides that back into his backpack.
Alright. Well. So.
Now.
Well, if we want to make good time, you should probably go to the Shining Cathedral around now, and grab a bunch of the little glass bits and bobs.
Yes.
Although,
yes, sure.
You know, talking about fish has made me think. Kind of looks in the back and kind of looks in the supplies. We should probably stock up on a bit more food for the journey, huh? I suppose you've forgotten most of your survival tricks, haven't you?
I don't know.
Well, regardless, I don't exactly trust you enough to rely on you for gathering all of the food that we will need to eat to survive while traveling, so...
That's fair.
Tell you what. I guess we'll have to... Maybe we can just take a bit of a delay, do some odd jobs around town, and maybe try and get some food out of it or supplies for the journey. Plenty of people still out there who need their help. I'm pretty sure there's also some kids who got stuck in that Shining Cathedral. You were helping out, helping their granny or something.
Oh, that's... Yeah, and an old woman came to me pretty early on in this village. I think you were there at the end of it.
Yeah, I saw her.
Yeah, yeah.
Eesh, can't take a hint, that lady.
Are they dead?
I mean, Now look, I don't want to sound harsh here, because, you know, losing kids, it's a terrible thing. But at some point, when they're gone long enough, and when they happen to be gone in a highly dangerous place, stalked by several dangerous monsters, with nothing to eat, drink, or... You know,
Wait, what monsters?
I'm not betting on it. All I'm saying.
What monsters are up there?
Creepy ones, that's for sure. Look like, they're like statues, but they move. They got big lights coming out of them.
Doesn't sound very nice.
They look like angels. They kind of scream a lot and send big lights at you. I think that's swords, too. Never been up there myself. Wouldn't want to risk this handsome face, but all what I've heard from other folks who weren't as small and sneaky as you, able to gather things without being seen.
Okay. So should I go attempt to like find those kids?
Well,
Or at least like the corpses or something? I don't know.
it'd certainly make... It'll certainly make her happy. That's all I'm saying. Hell, I mean, look, tell you what, he kind of gets up and kind of leans forward a bit. There's something you could do, you know. I mean, not as dangerous as finding the kids. You know, probably not as traumatic. You know, just consider it a mercy. You know, you're not showing their dead bodies to break poor old lady's heart.
When did I like go out?
It was just this morning, actually.
Oh.
Soon as the sun's rays were out, you were off.
I mean, I think they like could still be alive.
Who can say? Well,
but what was the alternative you were gonna propose?
yeah, well, you know, I'm not counting on them being alive. What we could do, you know, I've still got a couple of my kids' clothes. You know, I'm pretty sure, reasonably similar. We could, it's not, and even then, it's not just her kid stuck up there. May they rest in peace. I'm certain we could, you know, sort through my drawers, chew some holes in them, cut up a little bit. Say that,
I mean,
sorry, old Miss Keg.
but what
Best
if
we could
they
find. Trust us,
what if
you didn't want to see what these clothes were on.
What if they were alive though and they came back and that was like you were proven wrong? Would that not be very, very, very bad?
Well, that's probably not going to happen. Dead people don't come back to life most of the time, anyways. And even then, you know, in the purely hypothetical scenario that we fuck up like that, purely hypothetical speaking, we'd be out of town. You know, what are the kids gonna do? If the kids were gonna wander their ways back, they'd be back by now. Hell, they probably saw one of those freaky angels and died of shock, quick and painless. Put your mind at ease.
I want to at least see what's up there.
Well, sure, you'll have plenty of time to check it out.
Yeah.
Just, don't bring any moldy corpses back.
Oh yeah, I'll just get like, if there is a corpse, says, I'll just like, I take a finger or something. Probably not that. That's probably a bit fucked up.
Well, I mean, better than a head.
There
was some fucking psycho who came through here. Fancied himself a big fancy adventurer one time. I think it was 5 or so years ago. Missing person, asshole brought back the head. You can imagine how mad the husband was.
That does not sound like the best adventurer.
Yep.
Okay, so I guess I will be back in a couple hours.
Sure, by all means. I'll be
Yes.
here. And if you happen to find any food, any radishes growing in the ground, any edible grasses, preferably higher cuisine. I mean, we're not sheep. Just
Can
bring
I
it
leave like a wooden dowel and a hammock and a couple square yards of canvas with you for while I'm gone? Because this is kind of heavy.
Sure. He kind of like knocks on the floor and kind of just you see there's a little like kind of hatch down on your side. Kind of open it up. There's a little section for your stuff there.
I'm gonna drop the the canvas, the hammock, and the 2 wooden dowels.
Oh, and when you're out there, see if you can try and find the barrels that I bought for you. I think you brought it. You kind of wheeled them up there on a little wagon too.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm also gonna leave the harp.
Yeah, just kind of put it all kind of nice and proper down there.
Then I am gonna go uppies. Start
All right.
walk out of the village.
You head out. It's probably about like noon, afternoon, right now.
Okay.
You got a decent bit of time.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna like wander up there.
All right. Well, headed through.
Prob.
You just kind of you're kind of outskirts of town anyway, so it doesn't take you too long to kind of get to the trail that leads you all the way up to the Shining Cathedral.
Whoa. So
Okay.
I'm going to immediately roll a perception there,
All right.
which is an 18.
Okay. Well, as you're you kind of get up to the various bits of, the hills, kind of where you can see kind of at first a little kind of stone spire kind of jutting up with various these kind of almost glowing, multicolored, just like almost, they look like crystals from a distance, but as you get closer you can see it's just these large, like almost melted together clumps of this stained glass kind of like twisting up in spirals to the sky. All kinds of colors and everything. But
Whoa.
you kind of
Very
get
pretty.
closer, and with that, we are going to change the music. You can see
Nice.
that kind of in the distance, it looks like there is sort of, you can see these kind of figures just sort of almost like wandering around. You can't quite make them out, but you can see kind of little lights above their heads and bright, brilliant wings behind them, almost made of light and glass. They sort of move without moving their legs, just kind of almost orbiting around the grounds of the cathedral. It's a very large building. From the outside, it looks like as if there was just a kind of one-room cathedral with a bunch of benches and a big, and a big like stand for people, just like sized up a lot. But through the kind of like breaks in the wall and ruins, you can see plenty of various other rooms that are kind of all taking up the space of it. Outside, there's plenty of other kind of smaller ruins of just completely collapsed and caved in, very old buildings. It's kind of at the edge of a cliff. At the end of that cliff, you can see the water of the river that carried you downstream. Looks like the grass is taller here. You might be able to sneak through if you were slow about it and careful.
Sorry, for like the beginning part of that, I was reading the song stuff. Do I see the angels? Like, are they?
Yes, these large sort of
How many are there?
there's just outside you can count 3. They're sort of like, they're almost like stationary, like they're not moving any of their body parts, but they're almost like slowly kind of autonomously orbiting around the church without moving their
Fucking
limbs.
scooting, dude.
Brilliant wings of light and glass shine behind them, and small little lights kind of dance around above their heads. Light kind of emanates from cracks in them.
Can I roll a perception to see any traces of children around?
Go ahead.
All right, yippee. 22.
22. From what you can see now, you can't, or at least not from this angle, you can't see anything. If they are in here, they must be further in, which would make sense why they haven't come home yet. They'd be trapped right in the middle of it.
So, is there any obvious path around the angels?
You just sort of watch for longer as you kind of see the angels just orbiting around. Every now and again, kind of another one comes out. You can clearly see there's not a lot more, but there are more inside. But they seem to be going on relatively set paths. Sort of almost like clockwork. There are a few times when kind of the main entrance, you can't see inside the main entrance, there could be more just inside the main entrance, but there is a little time when the main entrance is completely unwatched. You might be able to just run in there. Alternatively, there are some breaks in the walls nearby. You could kind of sneak through the other ruins, just kind of every now and again. The time that it takes them to look on the sides is a bit less frequent, but you could kind of hide behind kind of wall after wall, getting closer in the shorter times, in order to kind of get in through one of the kind of breaks in the sides.
And there are I can 100% get in through the breaks, right? They're small enough.
Yeah, they're decently large, kind of just wall collapses. It seems like even the glass is kind of grown out so far that's broken down some of the walls even.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Yippies. And just to make sure. Yeah, that's just a flat d20. 15.
All right. You're kind of going through the kind of the tall grass, and you get up to one of the little ruins, and you think you're in the clear, so you move over to another one, when suddenly you stop, you freeze. You see another one has just turned the corner. It's about, say, maybe 180 feet from you. Decently far, but still too close for comfort. It's just sort of almost floating there, as if it was held up by invisible strings.
Okay.
It kind of use its arm to kind of maneuver itself kind of across the wall, as it sort of just surveys the ground below it. Luckily, it kind of moves past and didn't seem to have noticed you.
Okay.
You can continue forward.
Yes, I will do that.
Keep moving, and you can kind of just see various bunch of ruins, and it seems like even these ruins, they're pretty worn, but even these ruins aren't. They do actually have some stuff in them. They haven't been looted, evidently. These things have been here for a while. You can see some old, kind of rotted away furniture, and what looks to be a couple chests every now and again, chests and boxes. Various just kind of old tools, kind of half buried in the dirt. You nearly trip over a few of them.
Are any of these would any of these be useful?
Well, the tools are certainly, all the tools and various other things are certainly so worn down by now that you doubt that they would do, they'd like do anything, right? You'd probably like try and use some of the like one of those knives here and like snap off the handle. But maybe it could be used for another use.
I will take it in my backpack.
Alright, little knife.
Yeah, little fucked up knife.
It seems to be it's a curious design. It doesn't seem to be a combat knife, certainly. It's just kind of long and refined. Doesn't really have much of a hilt other than just kind of like a little handle to hold on. Kind of like a kitchen knife. Except, it's very high quality, before it was rusted to hell.
Still could be very useful.
Yeah. There's plenty of other just like tools and junk, and every now and again you see just a piece of bone, practically fossilized.
During all this time, I'm still gonna look for signs of the child.
All right, do a perception check.
Alrighty.
Another non-natural 20.
Another fucking 20.
All right.
What is this?
You have yet to get a natural 20.
Yeah, no, I've got 6 unnatural 20s though.
Well, you're looking around and you don't really notice, you're kind of giving up. You're thinking, oh, well, if there are signs, then they're probably further in, but then you kind of see just kind of under a table, there's a little stuffed animal, hand sewn. Definitely couldn't have been in the ruins. It would have completely just rotted away by now. Looks like a stuffed rabbit plush toy.
So I am... Is that far enough where I can just grab...
It's in like one building over from you. You need to do another stealth roll to get over there.
That sounds like a step in the right direction, so...
Alright.
I'm gonna do that.
Give us a roll.
Yep. That's not the best.
Not the best. Kind of creep over. Kind of creeping through the grass when you hear kind of almost like a hum going through the air at a frequency which almost vibrates you. Kind of look over the side.
The angel vibrates you.
One of the angels has stopped. It slowly kind of moves its head over to the building that you were just in. It begins floating closer. It's sort of... You can see clearly now its face is just kind of... It's kind of almost like contorted in this almost like scream. Cracks have appeared all around its body. It's almost like a thin layer of stone just holding in this just almost like waxing and waning light. Just pieces of glass just kind of all built into it almost.
Actually, important question. Does it have eyes?
It doesn't have eyes, but it has the holes where its eyes are in have light emanating out from them. Every orifice, every crack just has this light shining out.
Okay.
Well, at least they certainly can't hide from you.
Fuck, it's immune to pocket sand. But yeah,
it's slowly floating over to the building that you were in.
Was in, right?
Yeah, you're sort of in between the two buildings right now. It is getting awfully close, though.
I'm gonna, just make a slow but run for it.
Okay. Give us a stealth roll.
Even one worse. That's a 4. Woohoo!
Oh, and they rolled one better.
Uh-oh!
The angel descends down to the bottom. Its feet just kind of gently kind of colliding down with the ground, and you can hear kind of like clinking of rusted metal as its armor kind of clinks against itself. You can feel just this radiant hum emanating from it. You slowly start to kind of move over. And then you hear a bit of a crack.
Uh-oh.
You put your hand right down on a little dried up and dead plant with some crackly leaves.
The second I do that, I'm sprinting for the next building.
All right. You sprint over as the angel. Did you look behind you?
Sure.
All right. You look behind you as the angel just looks over, and its eyes are directly upon you.
And
Its body
I'm also
reorients as it starts flying towards
100%
you.
Out of intuition, going to use my Oracle active ability of Coat of Many Stars, which gives me
Ooh.
+4 AC for an hour.
Okay. It rises a brilliant, this brilliant longsword in the air, made out of just almost like floating together pieces of this sharpened glass. As it flies towards you, still not moving its legs, almost like a statue, just zooming towards you. Would you like to try and duck for cover? If you're quick about it, you might be able to dive into the building in front of you.
Yeah.
Behind one of the walls.
I'm gonna do that.
Roll acrobatics.
Let me check what my acrobatics is actually. That's a +3. Yippee. 22.
Ooh, okay. You dodge behind, and you dodge into it. It looks like it's still catching up to you. You have some time to be able to get into, just kind of like try and hide somewhere else. It looks like there's kind of a bit of a rotted, still rotted kind of stone table counter thing. There's a couple of just like bits of dirt and some bushes you might be able to hide in. And it looks like under the counter there's also a trap door. It might cause some other noise opening and closing the trap door, though.
I'm going to grab the Banoi and then open the trapdoor.
All right.
Get into it. I'm going to specifically open it as quietly as I can.
All right. Kind of gingerly, you kind of open the door to a sort of to see if you can do this like this stealthy thing fast enough so that it doesn't catch up to you. Roll a sleight of hand check.
Alright. A 13.
Okay.
Not the worst it could have been, okay?
It kind of, the hinges kind of squeak a little bit as you kind of cringe, but good chance that the violent humming of the angel might have blocked that out on its ears. You kind of, with the Banoi, you just look in, you just jump in. It's pretty dark in there, but you can see a bit of ground. It looks like it kind of partially caved in, so there's like dirt under there. Kind of jump in, kind of close it behind you, just in time, through the partially kind of caved in floor, to see this radiant light kind of shine over the floorboards.
Now, down here, where am I?
It looks like this place might have been a cellar at one point, but through the light you can kind of make out like a little bit of some old, just like dead bushes here. A couple of, it looks like there's some kind of slots on the wall where you can actually see what looks to be a bottle, a couple bottles.
So I have my lantern with me.
Yep. Although the light from the angel above you is certainly shining good enough.
Is it enough? Okay. So what's up with these bottles? Are they fucky?
Well, yeah, they just seem to be, there's some slots in the wall where just these kind of bottles are held in, where you can kind of grab the hilt and pull them out. You can't quite make out much of them. Filled with some liquid.
I'm gonna grab a couple of them.
All right.
What color's the
Okay.
liquid?
Carefully, as the angel of light kind of starts to fade, as it seems to have given up its search, seems to have lost you. It kind of seems to head back over to the cathedral, and as it kind of put your light up, you can see just this sort of. It has this. It has like a lot of the like there used to be kind of like a cover on it, but you know, as you kind of pull it out, the cover just flakes away from all the age, so you cannot tell what it is. It kind of sloshes around. It's not too viscous. It has the same viscosity as water, but it's you know, decently kind of dark. One of them's sort of a deep red. Other one's sort of a deep purple. Very darker colors. Some of them are kind of faintly sparkly, and you kind of move them around a bit, and sparkles sort of like kind of swirl back into it. Seems like they're a bit more dense than what's on the bottom. A couple of them have some stuff that seem to be just like completely congealed on the bottom of the bottle.
I'm gonna cast Detect Magic on them.
Ooh, okay.
For like a good couple seconds to identify them.
Well, looking into them, you detect very faint traces of magic. Hardly anything. In fact, you have to do a knowledge arcana check to even figure out what the hell it is.
Knowledge Arcana.
Just that
Technically,
faint.
it's not one I put any points into. Uh, 13.
Well, you can detect something on it. It is definitely not illusion, but that's really all you can tell.
It is not illusion.
Yeah.
Okay. Neither of them?
Nope. You got like
Alright.
4 bottles in total. One of them's kind of sort of sparkly and still kind of goes around. Another one is just sort of very. It looks like it used to have some denser stuff in it, but it's all just like hardened on like one side of the bottle that it was lying on.
No. So it's a red, a purple.
Red, purple, another slightly deeper purple, and just another red.
Right.
You notice something strange though. As you're under here, your bag seems to be glowing faintly. These little blue kind of circular lights just occasionally kind of fade in and fade out, sort of like in like a wave from around the entrance to it to the bottom.
Okay.
Little
Did my
strands
Detect
from it
Magic
seems
pick
to be.
anything on it?
Well, very slightly, yes, actually.
Okay. Cool. Fucked up little bag.
Yeah. Little strands of it seem to be kind of reaching out to some of the plants.
Cool. But there's no sign of the kids down here?
Nope, no sign of the kids.
Okay.
There
the
is some
angels
small
definitely
little holes in the ground. A kid might have been able to fit down there, but they are kind of small.
It's very likely that if I couldn't fit through it, I doubt... I didn't ever ask how old these kids are. They could be like 5.
Yeah.
But... I mean, this is like the best thing I have to go off of so far. I'm gonna, like, peek my eye through there.
Alright, you peek your eye through and you shine a light down.
Yeah. I light my, lantern with the spark spell, and then, yeah.
It seems very just kind of grungy down there. There's a couple of small little roots kind of hang through it. Looks like a rabbit hole, but slightly larger and wider. Can't really you don't see any children or anything. Kind of takes a quick bend, and you can't see anything else.
All right. I can assume there's no children down there, so I'm gonna put out my lantern and very slowly and carefully unsquumb the latch, like the hatch.
All right. Very carefully you do it, and you kind of put it back, and you kind of carefully climb your way out. Not necessarily using the kind of unstable wooden floor, but kind of climbing on the stone wall instead.
Mm-hmm.
You get your way out and carefully look up and time it right. And sure enough, you're able to kind of sneak past again as the angels aren't there, and there you are. You're on one of the bit more intact houses that is right next to the cathedral. If you go through a kind of hole in this wall, you would be... You could just enter.
And once again, I must make sure, no signs of the kids other than the bunny.
No signs of the kids.
Alright, then yes, I will enter the cathedral once again very, very slowly.
Slowly, because you do have a limited amount of time to do this, because the angels regularly patrol.
Oh shit, good point. Wait, how far is it? How far is it?
It's about 20 feet, and it's like uphill a bit.
Okay. Okay. Not like slowly, but a little bit slower than like fast walking.
Alright, roll a stealth check.
It's a 19.
Ooh, sneaky, sneaky.
I accidentally put like a backslash at the end.
Oh, huh. Alright.
What the fuck?
Well, you run in, kind of
Okay, no, first
rush.
I want to make sure.
We're not
I want to make sure that that does affect it and that is not an actual nat 20. With another backslash there. Okay,
No,
yeah, that guarantees a 20. Okay.
So you kind of like quickly walk your way in and kind of hide behind a wall as soon as you are, and just in time to kind of hear the hum of another one of the angels floating right on the other side of the wall from you, as it kind of floats past the hole you just entered. You're in the belly of the beast now.
Mm-hmm.
A couple other holes in the wall. Seems like you entered what used to have been a bit of a storage area. There's a couple of kind of these smaller glass spikes. There's there's sort of like a couple of the little glass shards have kind of like fallen off.
Well, I will grab those
All right.
if they're like easy to just a little grippy.
Yeah, you just kind of scoop them up, kind of rummaging through the grass, and load them in your bag. Well, with that, kind of, you got a couple of options here. You could go to the room on your left. There's a wall's kind of broken down. You can see in. There's also the room on your right. You go through the door, kind of right in front of you, or there's a couple of kind of vines and stuff that might be able to get you through a hole in the ceiling to go up.
Okay. So, sorry, that was left, up, or what?
Left, right, forward, or up.
Okay. Can I make another child-based perception check?
Go ahead.
Uh, 12. Yeah.
Alright, well, you look around and, well, you're not sure. You can't quite see anything in this part of the church, but if the bunny was here, and you didn't see any other signs of them outside, this is really one of the only places they could be.
Yeah.
It's probably more signs further in.
What is the path of least resistance?
Probably to your left. The hole in the wall's the widest. You wouldn't have to go through a possibly creaky door, and you wouldn't have to climb up any vines.
I'm gonna go to the left then.
Alright. Gonna head through, and you can see kind of the walls here have just firmly, very much decayed. You're blocked off from the outside, so you can't, the angels on the outside can't see you here, but you can see kind of the walls that kind of separate these rooms from the hallway have near completely collapsed. In fact, you can see kind of up into further levels. There's kind of larger, just kind of a lot more stuff. There's various things just in kind of like storage areas here. It looks like this was like a whole bunch of where you're in was like a whole bunch of storage closets, kind of old, rusted like suits of armor that you're not familiar with. But it all seems very, very fancy. It seems like everything here is very like back when it was in its prime, it would have been very sort of expensive and like impressive to behold. Plenty of other just various things. A couple of flowers and plants, which look like they're growing some fruit, as a matter of fact.
Ooh.
Looks like there's some like vines with these kind of purple or blue flowers on them that kind of at the center of them they have a kind of purplish pink fruit that looks like a peach.
I'm gonna grab that little peach.
Alright. You kind of pick it off, and the kind of flower just kind of like wilts a little bit and kind of retracts. But, you know, sure enough, I mean, it's soft, it's got some fuzz on it. You're not
Purple
sure if it's edible or how it tastes, but if it's like a normal peach, it probably tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them that look decently ripe. The unripe ones are very like a bright yellow. There's about like
how
two
many of
more
these
that are
little
ripe.
peaches can I just quickly grab?
Yeah, there's like two more that are ripe. There's a couple more, but it looks
Okay.
like they have like some holes in them. Might be some like bugs eating them.
Yeah. So just 3 of them.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
And sorry, once again, what room am I in? I'm getting to the point of like tired, and there's like caffeine in my system, so there.
you were in the room. You just went into the room in your left. You kind of traveled through a couple of.
Yes.
There were a bunch of rooms here, but they've kind of broken down, so now it's all just one big room. You do notice that there are a couple of things here that look like they were already picked. In fact, there's a couple of half-eaten ones on the ground.
Okay. That's a good news. So they definitely were through here.
Indeed.
So where can I go from here?
Well, the ceiling is certainly fucked and up enough that you could climb these vines to get to the second level, or possibly even the third level. There's also a hallway, which was sort of attached to these closets, but basically part of the room now. They could kind of go further down into either kind of further down to like closer to the entrance of the church or closer to the back of the church.
Sorry, I can go up or further.
Up,
in the back
left,
or
or right. Left leads to the left leads
Once
to
again,
the.
I'm going to just ask for which one's the path of least resistance.
Well, that would probably be either left or right. The hallway's reasonably clear.
Then I'm going to say that one that goes further in.
All right, that'd be to the left, which would
Yes.
geometrically lead you a bit closer to the entrance doors of the place. So you kind of head that way. A couple other doors. Some of them are kind of just sort of like broken down. You see some skeletons every now and again. Some of them look a bit more fresh than fossilized. Still rather old, but you and the kids are certainly not the only ones who've tried to break into here. At the very end, you haven't seen many hints of the kids, but at the end you come to the door, just still closed, looks locked, but kind of through various little cracks, and you can see kind of like what looks to be a kind of grand sort of overgrown entrance hall. You can hear the hums of angels in that room.
So, and there's no other doors in this room?
There are plenty of doors that just lead to other rooms. There's like about 2 of them that haven't been that you haven't been able to see inside that you could go to. You want to check those?
I would like to look at them, yes.
Okay. Well, you look at them, and some of them have looking closer. Some of them do have kind of areas, like little cracks in the wood planks of them they can see.
I specifically want to see Any that have like been opened or have any sign of being opened?
One of them is open a crack. The other one is still locked.
Okay. So I'm going to peek through the one that was opened.
Kind of peek through the one that's open, and just inside you can see it's a kind of a dark room, but kind of faintly lit up by the light of various like shards of glass piercing through the ground. There's a bunch of them that have kind of wilted off here. You could fill your bag with a lot more here.
Yeah,
but
grab those little fuckers.
No sign of kids here. Alright. Maybe you just kind of like filter them in, and you get the feeling of being watched.
I'm immediately rolling a perception.
Alright.
25.
You don't see anything in the room with you, but you can hear the hum of angels getting slightly closer.
I am going to slowly peek out the room.
Kind of peek out the room, and you can see a bit kind of further down the hallway, kind of towards the like other end, like where you like would have like the other end from the door you just checked. It looks like an angel is making its way through the hallway. By the sounds of it, others are starting to convene on the other side of the door that you just checked.
Okay.
If you went out into the hallway, it would certainly see you.
Okay. Once again, I must check. Any other doors in this room?
No doors in this room. However, there is the kind of ceiling is sagging a little bit. You may, if you're careful, you may be able to sort of make your own way.
I would indeed like to do that.
All right.
But first, I am going to... Which one is it? Yes. One of the cantrips I have, Conjurer's Tool Belt, allows me to create a small tool that does not weigh more than 1 pound and is no longer than a cubic foot. I'm going to use that to like make a doorstop.
Ooh, okay. All right. Just kind of slide that on the door.
It'll last for a minute, but
yeah,
just like a very, very light like tap, tap, tap.
All right.
Nothing like loud, but yeah.
Well, you kind of. How are you gonna kind of make your own entrance here? Make your own exit.
Oh, okay. I need to know more about how like the roof is like sagging. Or is it like, does it look like everything's leaning on one brick, or like?
Sort of like a couple. There's kind of like a bit of a split, kind of like a diagonally across the room, where some of the like mortar and the bricks kind of come undone, and it's the lines of kind of hairline fractures have kind of spread kind of around to other bricks. So some are even like a bit more loose than others.
Okay.
It looks like you can see like a little thing of wood sticking through a hole in it. It'd be a bit dangerous because you'd be right under the bricks, but if you pulled on that, it's probably some piece of furniture up there. You could probably pull the rest of the roof down. Although, it would be on top of you. You need to like run away quick, or like run out of the way.
Yeah. So, could I, once again, use the Conjurer's Tool Belt to, like, make a crowbar that could, like, just grab into the... I don't know that much noise. That's a lot of noise.
It's true.
You know what? Fuck it. I don't think there's a way I can get out of here without making much noise. So I am going to use the Spider's Thread cantrip.
Ooh.
Instead of hooking it. Grab it onto that little ledge and just pull.
Onto the little wooden thing?
Yeah, little wooden thing.
Alright.
Getting as far as, like, away as possible.
Do a strength roll.
Let me check what my strength is. Oh, yeah, that's... What? Is that a skill specifically, or just...
Oh, no, that's just like ability score. Just, like, add your modifier to it, which
Oh,
I guess
gotcha.
in the case
0.
of you is, yeah, straight 20. Straight natural 20. Or not natural 20.
11.
D20.
Holy shit, not 20?
You wish. No, yeah, you're kind of able to,
I
like,
do.
pull on it, and with the worn bricks... Thankfully, the worn bricks are kind of old enough that you don't need to put in much effort. You kind of pull, and you hear a bunch of cracking and snapping as a brick falls down, and quickly more of them follow. As you pull a full ass, like kind of rotting, you kind of snap the leg off, but you pull a full bed down into this room with you, and it kind of cracks and snaps and breaks as a bunch of other bricks kind of like fall down. And, you know, the walls are still reasonably intact. You could just kind of like crawl up the walls onto the second level. And sure enough, there's breaks in the walls here, so you can like run into different rooms
I'd like
quickly.
to do that, yeah.
Alright. Do a climb check. Climbing's probably a lot easier with you because of your lack of weight.
So do I have like an additional...
I just set the
chance for
DCs
that, or, like,
lower. We'll
Okay,
eventually
gotcha,
give you a
gotcha.
bonus.
Yeah, because with like my what's it called, axe? What's that thing? The boarding axe. I'm also using that occasionally as like to chip into the like pieces that my fingers can't quite fit into, but are like sturdy enough to, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Plus 3. 21.
Splendid. Alright.
Yippee.
You're able to kind of get your way up and kind of get into what looks to be a old bedroom. A couple of other bedrooms kind of with the walls have collapsed in.
Would make sense for the bed that fell through.
Yeah. Yeah, the walls have also kind of collapsed here. You're kind of on the second layer with you know, similarly kind of laid out, except these bedrooms are, you know, slightly larger than the closets below, and it seems like the hallway here is also slightly larger. Sure enough, kind of on the way through, you do see a little bit of a glimmer of hope. At the very edge, kind of closer to where you had started, it seems like you can see a little bit kind of on the shard of glass, a little bit of kind of cloth or clothing that's been torn off as hanging there. You can hear the hum of the angels kind of on the hallway below you.
So I'm going to... what direction does that piece of cloth look like it would go?
Well, there's a door, like, right next to it, which you can't tell where that door leads, but certainly deeper into the church.
Yeah.
Sort of towards the middle of it.
Alright, so I'm going to grab the piece of cloth, slowly open the door and peek through.
Well, there isn't a door there. It's just an archway, which leads
Oh.
to a large open room. The center area of the church. You can see you're on like these kind of, it leads to these kind of sort of like balconies, which are overlooking a whole bunch of the pews with old kind of rotted together with a bunch of these angels all just kind of sitting there silently in prayer. And at the very end, where a stand would be, where a preacher would preach, there's a massive just spike of this multicolored glass shooting into the sky with tons more of it all just spiraling out, almost like roots into the ground. And all throughout it, there is just more of this glass than you could ever carry, just everywhere on the ground. There's a little bit of it on the pews, or on the balcony here too, but there's so much more just like right under these angels.
Yeah.
But
Well,
do a perception
of
check,
course,
actually.
Oh, yeah. On nat 20 again.
You kind of look over. You're looking around, and you can see them through a little. There's a little kind of break in the wall. There's a little kind of crevice, kind of area where the bricks have kind of worn away, leading to a little pocket with some kind of crystalline glass spikes in front of it. The children are all there's 3 of them, all kind of like hiding. They're really young, about like 6. Probably oldest one must be like 9 or something. They're all hiding kind of in this little like kind of crevice. They look almost like skinny, as if they've been going hungry.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to have noticed you.
For a day?
Well, you don't know how long they've been in here.
That's... I mean, that's fair, yeah. Okay. So, do I have a direct route to them?
You do, although you'd have to kind of like do a bit of like a U path, like around the balconies, basically.
Okay.
These balconies aren't super stable, you know. I mean, with your weight, you know, it probably won't be too much of a problem, but still, just probably be careful.
Yeah, I am going to carefully, like, steppy.
Thankfully, it seems like all the angels in this room are sort of just in prayer. They're not searching.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well,
that is indeed something I'm thankful for.
do you want to do a stealth check or an acrobatics check?
Acrobatics I have a +3, and stealth I have a +0 in. So that's an acrobatics for me.
All right.
It'll be a 12.
Well, you kind of dance around the parts of the balcony, and the children, you kind of see them kind of take notice of you, and one of them is the kind of like shocked with relief, and another one kind of like weakly looks up. The other one's asleep. Mm-hmm. And kind of
the Eeper.
You're kind of like jumping over, and you can see kind of there's a bit of a place where it looks like it's kind of the balconies have kind of collapsed. Not too far to jump on, but certainly enough where you can either kind of like try and climb over the wall to get there, or you can do another acrobatics. Oh, what's that?
How does the roof look?
There's another balcony above you, which is a lot more stable in this part.
All right, so I am. How far high above it is it?
It's about like 15, 20 feet up.
All right, I am going to spider thread swing that.
All right. You send out your spider that almost like glows like the kind of sunlight of Apollo as it attaches to the top, and you swing across. Yippee. Let go, and it just kind of fades away as it leaves your hand.
Yeah.
And with that, on the side, we're kind of able to sort of jump around, kind of dodge around the little holes in the ground, and picking up little bits of glass as you go. But you're able. You kind of see through the. You kind of see kind of past the. By this angle, you can see past the giant spike of glass, kind of out to the like behind the church, where you can see a long cliff. At the edge of the cliff, you can see it. It's like a big wagon, recently bought with some barrels still intact, but one of them has broken and has spilled out just tons of this glass. The barrel is practically full. The other barrels are probably full too.
Mm-hmm.
And right over that cliff is. That's where the river is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how close am I to the children?
Well, you're about like say like 60 feet away.
Okay.
One of them's kind of like crawled out and is kind of like gesturing to you to come closer, like silently.
Mm. And from the children, how far is the cart?
Oh, that's a lot farther. It's on the first layer, and you're on the second layer, so you have to like jump down into the area with a lot of angels there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably like 200 feet, maybe more.
Okay.
Probably about like 300 feet to the actual cliff.
Okay. And are there any like windows or anything that look like that would be with the of course with the like spider thread that would be like safe to get down with like minimal angels
Uh,
around the area?
you could try and silently get down by sort of like if you kind of climb down at the edge of the balcony. It looks like the pews that are kind of closest to the crystal big glass spike haven't the angel there. If there were angels there, they seem to have left. Probably the ones that are like encircling the church.
Okay.
So like you could sort of hang down one over the edge and kind of climb down there and sort of silently try and move across the glass without waking any of the angels.
Are there any windows to the outside?
Yeah, in fact, it looks like the sort of back walls behind this big glass used to be like big stained glass windows before they themselves all shattered. So there's like open space now.
Okay. And from the open window, what direction, or is the open window facing away from or towards the caravan thing? Cart.
It's facing towards it.
Okay.
So you could just like run out, and it's like right after the window. So like you'd imagine, so this is definitely your cart. You'd imagine what happened was that you kind of collected a bunch of glass in this room. One of the angels woke up, or maybe more, and you quickly ran out. But like with the bump of it going over the kind of windowsill, it sort of kind of got unstable, and one of the barrels fell off and cracked open. And then you assume you must have been chased off to the cliff.
Yeah. So I am going to go. And how far is the window from the children?
Well, children are sort of. It's well, at the end of the balcony, that's probably like 70 feet, and the remaining like 130 is like the kind of empty space with the like big, like large area with the big kind of glass jutting spike. You got the children kind of closest in front of you, behind a bit of glass. You got the kind of bit of a drop down, 70 feet after that. 130 feet after that, you're out the window. A couple feet after that, you're at the wagon. A couple more feet after that, you're at the cliff.
Okay. And this is in a line?
Yeah, in a line.
Okay.
They're not all directly lined up, but it's reasonably, like, pretty close to being in a line.
Okay, good. So I am going to. So what's the drop down?
The drop down is about like 20 feet.
Where does the drop down go to?
The first floor, just a bunch of pews and stuff. In the worship area, where all the angels are lurking, praying.
And there's no like other way I could see to go around down there, having to go down there.
Well, there are some doors sort of at the back of like behind you, with like big double ones that probably lead to the entrance hall. There were some active angels there, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I of course am going to like head to the children's.
All right. You kind of head over, and they're like, you can see like some of them are just like crying with relief. Oh my God. Are you here? Are you here to rescue us?
Yes. Yes.
One of them is just kind of in the back. Hungry.
I have a cup. I am going to open my backpack and grab a rations that I have.
Oh, you do have those little fruits you just picked.
is a good point, but I'm not
You
sure
wanna
this fruit
save
would be
those?
enough.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. All right.
Because
Yeah, that's a good
I-
point.
yeah, I'm going to like split the rations into one like a third for each kid, as well
kinda-
as like a peach for each kid.
They kind of like start munching them, and they kind of get to the peaches, and they kind of turn their noses up a bit, but they kind of still do eat, even though it kind of like seems like it tastes pretty bitter.
Hmm.
They kind of get through it all and just gulp everything down, and kind of one of them just kind of goes up, sort of probably like maybe around 7 years old, must be, kind of just gives you a hug, just holding on to you, terrified.
I'm going to like give it like a slight pat on the head.
It still just holds on.
I'm going to say, okay, so, is there a line of sight towards the caravan thingy?
Yes.
Okay. What? We are going to get out of here by, we're gonna go over to that, wagon. Do you think you're all up to that? You can, like...
Yeah, but Mox'll get scared, and she'll cry, and they'll all wake up. She's scared of the angels. She kind of, the kind of 9-year-old kind of points to the 6-year-old who just woke up. She used to have her bunny that calmed her down, but
Oh,
I was an idiot. I dared her to leave it behind.
here. Well, thank
You have it? And
Yeah,
immediately you can see the child's eyes, like, she, like, lights up as she, like, reaches out for Bunny! She kind of grabs a hold of it and just kind of, like, gives it a big hug and seems to be doing a lot, but even better than getting the food.
The Banoi.
She kind of, like, looks up at that. Okay, mister. Let's go. And they kind of...
Okay.
the kids all kind of like huddle together a bit, and the 9-year-old seems to be the kind of sort of boss of the group, kind of keeping them all kind of together and everything as you lead the way. Sort of
And be quiet as you can.
kind of all three kind of collectively nod vigorously.
So we are heading towards the window, right?
Yep. There's a
Okay, yeah.
little kind of area at the edge of the kind of what do you call it?
Like balcony thingy?
Yeah, at the edge of the balcony. You can kind of just like hang something down on if you get close enough.
Yeah. I am going to do that.
Kind of keep going over, and as you're walking, kind of carefully, you can just hear the kids saying, "Just don't look over. Just don't look over at the angels." And then you hear, as you kind of keep walking over, you hear a crack, and the ground kind of slants a bit. Kind of, so you're slanted down now, the balcony.
Okay. Okay, so it's... Everyone is on the balcony right now, right?
Everyone's sort of like, you're like halfway to where you need to be, and the balcony is starting to kind of sag.
Okay. I am going to use the spider's thread as a reinforcement to the roof.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's the balcony's floor is the thing that's starting to kind of crumble. It's sort of like imagine like you're on a seesaw and it's starting to like sag on the other side now.
Wait. What kind of balcony is... What? Huh?
It's like a stone balcony, but it's like the pressure of you all kind of being on one side is kind of breaking it off from the wall that it's on, so it's like starting to kind of sag and like kind of slant down.
Okay. I mean, there's like a I assume there's like the handrails, right?
Yep, there's the handrails.
Yeah. So just, and those are on the side that's sagging, right?
No, the thing, it's like sagging forward. So it's like, and there are handrails like on the forward, like at the like back end of it that you were going to hang off. So it's like the back end of it that you were walking towards, that you were going to hang off, has started to like kind of sag forward. Like it's a big long balcony, and one of the long ends is starting to fall down.
So the part that we're going to is going up?
No, the part you're going to is going down. The part behind you is going up.
Okay.
The sort of, the mortar keeping the hallway attached to the wall next to it is starting to give way.
But where's the pivot?
Somewhere with slightly stronger mortar, you would assume. Kind of somewhere behind you.
I mean, that's not... Is this even, like, stopping anything? Is like, doing anything? Other than, like, of course, like, getting to the point
If you go farther and put more weight farther on it, it could collapse.
Is there, like, a door?
There are a few of the, like, archways, but they are a bit further off, too.
I am going to still attempt to use the spider thread on the part that's going downwards.
Alright. Okay, so...
To not make it not fall.
Oh, okay, so you're trying to use the spider thread to, like, hold it up still. Okay, alright. You do that and you kind of sort of put that there and kind of sort of hold it up, and you're kind of keeping it, and it kind of gets pulled back up, and you're kind of stabilizing it a little bit. And you keep going forward, and eventually you get to the very kind of far edge of it. You can hear a bit of cracking, but your spider thread, you kind of attach it to the wall. It's before it's gonna fade soon, but you've still held it strong. Now it's just spider's thread and carry the kids down. I think that'd be probably just they're pretty light kids, so I doubt you need to do a like strength roll. Probably just a stealth roll to kind of go down, unheard.
Yeah, and that is that's a 2.
Oof. All right. Well, you kind of go down. 1, 2, and with a third
Give me
one.
1 second, real quick.
Oh.
A hero point can be used to re-roll that, right?
It certainly can.
I'm gonna do that.
All right. Give us a reroll.
That's a
Much
14.
better.
Significantly better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of just go down, and with a third one, she kind of seems like she's about to sneeze, but she kind of covers her nose, and it's just like it's incredibly muffled. So you kind of get down, and you kind of carefully look behind you, and not a single one of the praying angels has awoken.
Woo.
With that, it's just carefully walking on glass to get all the way over to the caravan.
A little bit of glass walking is a treat.
Yeah. Well, you kind of head your ways over, and would you like to do another stealth roll? Or perhaps an acrobatics to speed it up?
I will do a slight acrobatic.
Okay, give us an acrobatics roll. Oh, that's a nat 1!
That was why I was very reprehensive of doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Let me grab some different music for this. You
No,
head
what the
over
fuck?
to you're heading over. You have the kids. You're kind of like dodging and weaving around. Kind of get up some of the stairs. It's perfect. You're just about to jump out the window and be out of this horrible place when you hear a crack behind you. Crack, crack, snap, crack, break, and a boom as the mortar permanently snaps and the balcony you were just on crashes down onto the pews below it, just smashing onto a whole bunch of angels below, and kicking up dust and sending shards of glass and big like dust clouds just like flying around, clattering on all the other angels just around the sides and in front of it and everything. And just the loud boom just echoes through the whole place, and even like the bricks of the whole structure almost like shudder with the weight of what just fell. And slowly, bit by bit, the angels' eyes begin to glow, one by one, as they move their heads up, looking directly at you, just frozen there, motionless.
Where currently are we?
You are, like, a couple feet away from the window. However, none of the angels have made a move for you yet. It's possible that that they haven't quite perceived you yet.
Okay.
One of them stands up. Then another. And they're all standing up. Still holding their hands in prayer. They simply turn to their sides, facing the little kind of pathway in between the pews. Facing away from you.
Are the pews wood, by any chance?
Yeah, the pews are wood. Some of them are pretty thoroughly rotten, but yeah.
Okay, so... Okay, so... The cantrip Spark is either verbal or semantic.
I believe it is a melee cantrip.
No, it is not. It is 25 feet.
Oh, fuck, okay.
So I am just going to use the verbal one to light the pews on fire.
Top 10 things to do in a
bit of
church.
Literally, yeah.
Alright. With that, you light one of them on fire, and the angels simply don't react. However,
My plan is to smoke the room up a bit.
it is a very large room.
I am aware, but like if I spark the pew closest to us, there will be at least a bit of concealment.
Alright, true. Well, you've had enough time to do that, as the angels, they just kind of sit there, and then you see what they were praying with. Why they've all lined up in that line. Here's some new music.
Alrighty.
With two bigger eyes light up from the dark roof, but at the kind of sort of by the far back of the sort of room, and a larger angel takes its hands out of prayer and falls down to the ground, shuddering the whole building with the collision. It moves itself up, clad in brilliant battle armor, as a longsword materializes in its hand. It wields it in both hands as it lets out this mechanical, angelic scream. It points its sword at you, and it charges.
Okay, so I am going to get the children to run out the window. Okay. Important question here. Can I use the ring of sexuality detection on it?
Yes. Yes, you can use the ring of sexuality detection on it.
Okay, now what is it?
Not into you at all.
Okay, yeah, that's not the question.
It
It is, what is its sexuality? Is it gay? What is it?
This thing is very straight. Heterosexual.
Okay. I can't fucking believe this. But now also, I am going to use Spider's thread to like just hold it back, like just one side of the spider thread on like just the sticky part onto it, and then like the
Onto like a wall or something?
Sorry?
Onto a wall or something?
Yeah.
Alright. You send it out, you send out your this shining web thing, hits it, it's on like the shoulder and hits it on the wall as it's charging you, and it just kind of like snaps off as it runs, kind of like almost like pulls some of the brick that you kind of sent it in with, but it kind of like, it barely even slows it down. As it continues to just...
Now, how far is it?
It is probably about like 80 feet away from you. It can close that distance fast.
Okay. So I am also going to run.
Alright. You just jump out the window?
Yes.
Alright. You just jump your way out. The other kids are still running. They're kind of like at the edge of the cliff. And this thing is like charging. It's charging past. The other angels who were patrolling the outside seem to have kind of like lined themselves up sort of on the edges of the cliff so you can't escape anywhere. And you're just bolting past. You know, if you can bolt, you're kind of passing by your little cart. It's still, the wheels are still there and it's still upright. You might be able to grab it and run with it. It might slow you down a little bit, though.
For the meantime, I am going to leave it because now I know exactly where it is and how to get it out.
Alright. Well, just running through, you just run past it, and then you just feel heat behind you. Let's see here. That is... Okay. What's your AC?
20 currently.
20, alright. You just see just like little bits of shards, just like superheated shards of glass fly past you as your like sort of silvery, kind of brilliant like sunlight oracle cloak just sort of deflects them from behind you. Kind of looking behind you, you can see just a molten glass like leaking from this thing's mouth as it continues to charge you. It's at the position where you just were right now. It's sort of like right next to the big spike of stained glass.
And with that
swing
attack,
its sword.
I am going to cast Shield, which will give me another 4 AC.
Splendid.
Yes.
It swings its sword, and it sort of crashes through the normally unbreakable glass shard, sending fragments flying out at you. That is, ooh, okay. Okay, that is... Here, let me grab... I think that might hit. Not for much, though.
What is it? What is the number?
That is... Okay, and that is... oh, wow, you're really lucky. I rolled 1 both times. You take 2 damage.
Wait, no, what is the to hit?
Oh, that's like 26.
Oh, okay, yeah. Current... Doot. Yep.
Alright. It's still charging you with the sword, winding up another strike. It's like 2 of its arms holding the sword directly above its head as it's going to slam it down on you.
Does this thing have eyes?
It has bright, glowing eyes. Yeah.
Do they count as eyes?
Probably.
I'm going to cast Sand in your eyes.
Alright! What's that? How's that function again?
Let me open it real quick. Fortitude negates. It is a
fort save then.
You cause sand to appear in the victim's eye, taking 1 point of slashing damage and blinding the target for 1 round.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does a 16 pass?
What do I use for that?
It's your spell DC, so it should be like it's a
Where
cantrip.
is
It's just
that?
or it's basically 10 plus your charisma mod.
Okay. Is that it?
Yep.
Then no, that does not hit.
All right. It kind of shrugs it off as it continues, like sort of rushing after. You probably only have one thing that you can do before it's right upon you. You're almost at the cliff. All the children are there too. You could try that thing could be literally just acrobatics to fucking bolt to the kids.
I think that, yeah. Go. I just want to make, like, sure.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that runny little thing.
Alright. Roll acrobatics.
Boop. That's a 15.
15? Good, good. Alright. And that'll be its acrobatics. Well, you rocket your way forth, this thing right behind you. As it bears its sword down, you grab the kids and jump off the cliff into the river. As you're in the air, it swings its sword down, and you can feel this sort of piercing edge just barely graze your back, ripping through your clothes.
The fuck?
Take 1 point of damage as it sort of rips past, slicing your back open. Just barely, though.
Well, that's mean.
And with that, there's a kind of boom as the sort of base of the blade lands on the cliff where you just were. And you kind of spin around in the air, falling down into the river below. Falling, just spinning around. You can see just the angel just looking down on you, bearing down on you. And then, with a
on the way down, I'm going to cast Sun Breath at it because I think it would be funny.
Oh, Sun Breath, alright.
Yeah, that's just
that's one of my custom ones, yes?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, by the time you're able to do that, it's a bit out of range, but the message is still certainly sent.
Yeah. It also has like a little bit of a what's the word? That's concealment.
Alright. You kind of just splash down into the waves of the river, just almost nearly hitting your head on a rock again, when you kind of float to the top, and you all start drifting down the river. The angel's watching as it prepares a last attack, sending down another surge of superheated glass out from its mouth into the water. Go and do a swim check to dodge.
Let's see where that is. 13.
Okay. A little bit of it kind of goes in and kind of like sizzles in the water, and a bunch of steam comes up, which none of it actually hits you, but the steam from it rapidly hitting the water and boiling the water sort of heats you up to an uncomfortable temperature and gets kind of steam in your eyes, which kind of makes you close your eyes and kind of spin out of control for a while. You kind of get a bit...
Was I not underwater? Wait, what's the...
Oh no,
how far was the cliff?
Oh no, the cliff was about like probably 90 feet down.
And not underwater? Like...
Oh no, it's 90 feet down to get to the river, and it's about like the river's about like 5 feet deep in this area, maybe 10 in some areas.
Oh, okay.
with that, you're kind of spun around by the current a bit. And you kind of get a little bit battered by rocks. Nothing too dangerous, but you take. Ooh, uh-oh. Take 4 non-lethal damage.
So, question.
Yep.
Because of the shield spell, which is like a physical.
Oh, okay. Good point.
Yeah, would that like, yeah?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Because while I'm pretty sure the blessing, or not the blessing, the codes of many stuff. Oh no, that's also armor.
Yeah.
That's not. Yeah.
Roll a swim.
Huh.
That'll give you another chance to sort of like minimize the harm. Natural 20.
At the fucking end.
You know what? I know how to end this off. As you're spinning around, your body is just filled with just this sort of determination, primal, just willpower to not let this be where you fall again. You steel your nerves, you harden your muscles, and you just swim for it. There's a rock about to hit you, you just grab onto it, push yourself back up to the surface, and force yourself to be oriented with the river so you can swim down again, dragging all the kids with you with this spider's thread. And then, as you're just swimming through just fast, zooming down the river, far quickly out of range of any of the angels. You can see just like bright lights just flashing in the river behind you, just these pillars of holy radiance that they're just smiting down, managing to dodge every single one of them. And then, with a rage, you hear just this loud scream rattle your very bones with the force of it. And you hear these loud cracks and booms as it just, in a fury, just slams its sword down on the ground, cutting the cliff into pieces. And with a loud crack and boom, you kind of hear just the snap of something. And then, in front of you, a massive splash as waves from the river just flow towards you and almost like knock you back a bit. And things carried with them. Little bits of wood and little bits of glass. And you see, now floating down the river with you, having been kicked all the way in front of you by the angel, is your cart. One of the barrels has again been destroyed, but it looks like one of the barrels, at least one of the last barrel, is still intact. And with that,
hell yeah,
we can stop the music as you swim out of range in the kind of shining sun. As you find your way, kind of picking up glass and everything. Most of it kind of gets snagged on that area before where the driftwood got snagged. Same thing with a pretty heavy and unwieldy big kind of cart, which unfortunately it looks like the cart's wheels are busted, so you're gonna have to roll the barrel now. But with that,
actually, could I use the fucking, where's the little guy? The conjurer's tool belt to make a little what's the word? A little okay. You know those gym class little wheelie things? Like little plates with wheels?
Oh yeah, I know those.
Yeah. Just that.
Well,
whatever fantasy version of that thing.
The thing is, that would be this is on rocks and stuff, so it's not exactly a smooth surface. You probably get farther.
That's fair.
Until you're on the road, at least.
Yeah.
You could probably
on the road,
conjure. You could probably conjurer's tool belt a sled or something underneath.
Yeah.
And then just spider thread pull.
Yeah.
Actually, you could probably just like keep it on the wagon and spider's thread pull.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Making maybe like conjure tool welding some like little like the actual like the metal parts of the sled, like feet.
Yeah, true. You kind of
Yeah.
kind of like setting it up and kind of pulling it over, and as the kids kind of all like get up, some of them are kind of coughing and spitting out water.
Yeah.
They all kind
And
of
I
get
am
together.
also-
One of the
The sun is touching me, right?
yeah, the sun is touching you. Yeah,
I'm using that fucking brilliant healing.
splendid.
Yeah. Let me just.
You kind of
Let
the
me
kids.
D4. Is there any pluses there? Or is that just a D4 straight?
I think that's to D4.
Just one D4. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Alright.
2. Which.
Heal yourself 2 HP.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
also, like, if the kids are damaged, I'm also gonna use it on them. But
They're a little battered, so yeah, healing them up.
yeah,
It's good.
Yeah.
The little girl, Mox. She's kind of like looking around in the river, and sure enough, kind of behind her, you can see her little bunny kind of floating down the waves. Kind of just like go out and grab it for her.
Mhm.
The kids are all perfectly healed up by your healing, and you give her a bunny, and she just gives you a big, just like hug on your leg. Before they kind of
Yippee.
all get back together. The kids all kind of look at each other, look back up to you. That was awesome! You're the coolest ever, mister! When the little kind of like 7-year-old just like looks at me. When I grow up, I want to be just like you!
Please don't go into that building again.
No, not at all, mister. They all just like nod their heads.
Or any just dangerous ruins without like a guard or something. Like.
Not at all, never.
All right, thank you. Your grandmother was very worried about you. All of you.
They kind of look at each other a bit, and and just the 7-year-old's like, "Oh, Grammy's gonna be mad."
I think she'll be relieved.
The kind of 9-year-old just kind of like, "We need to get back now. We could tell everyone about this. So cool."
Okay, yeah, I gotta make my way back to. So we're going. Yeah.
And with that, would you like to end off the session, walking your way back to the village?
Would.
Some kids in tow, and a lot of this glass that is going to make you rich.
Like I'd say just look for like the random like the extra pickup parts. That would be like a barrel and a half, right? From like total.
Probably not a... Well, with the barrel, yeah. But yeah, half a barrel from like what you've managed to pick up, yeah. An extra half a barrel.
Yeah. And also, like I assume like there were like a couple of shards of glass after the one that got destroyed.
Oh no, yeah, those are like the river's full of those now.
Yeah.
That's going to
So,
very
like,
much annoy the people who live in the dam.
Actually, if I find Clear again, I'm gonna ask her to like just collect those for like I'll give her like 2 gold for it.
Ooh, okay. Exploitation of labor.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we can end off a spectacular Session 0, beginning the adventures of Caeda. Caeda
Little
Anewynn.
fucking monster.
All right, and
Also,
session.
Should I remove those 2 golds from my inventory?
No, we can do that next session.
All right. Okay.
Session end.
Whoa.